issues. Connor Goldson is fit enough to start for Rangers. John Lundstrom returns from injury and replaces Kieran Dowell in the visitors' only alteration. And Goldson being fit is key, isn't it, Pat?
Yeah, you want your big players and big defenders in. Certainly, I think Celtic have got a slight problem in Carter Vickers. I think he's the best defender. He's the strongest defender. He's the rock on which the whole defence is built on. So lots of people think you've got a possible problem there that Celtic may not be able to keep a clean sheet in this game, so they're going to have to score goals. But on the other end, you look at Goldson along with Balogun. I think they're delighted to have that in that back line. And of course, maybe the most important defender on display today is Tavernier. Not because of his defending, because of what he is going forward. He has scored a huge amount of goals for Rangers.
You'll never walk alone. Rings around Celtic Park. The green and white scarves are lifted around us. This is an Old Firm derby. This means so much. And this is live on BBC Radio 5 Live. To get us underway, Todd Cantwell with the kick-off. Celtic sitting top of the tree. They will be top of the Scottish Premiership heading into the new year, regardless of what happens here. But Rangers with those 2 games in hand, even a draw here, Pat Nevin, would be a hugely positive result in terms of the title race. Yes, of course, there's over half a season to go, but as you say, these are the games, these Old Firm derbies, in which the title is so often decided.
A draw wouldn't be a disastrous result for Rangers whatsoever, but they've not come here for a draw, and I can tell you that because they sometimes set up 4-3-3, sometimes 4-2-3-1 if they've been positive. They're being positive. Cantwell's pushing a lot further forward. He's trying to get up beside Dessers and try and stop that Celtic's McGregor controlling the game. So it shows you that man, Philip Clement, thinks he can win this one.
Rangers win the header over on the far side with their captain James Tavernier, and Celtic have the throw over on that left hand side just inside the Rangers half. Goalless here in the early stages here on BBC Radio 5 Live as Philippe Clement stands on the edge of his technical area. Brendan Rodgers on the edge of his Celtic dugout as well. He is so experienced in these Old Firm derbies, Rodgers, as Rangers win the free kick just inside their own half. This is his 15th, and he has a great record with Celtic. 1-11, drawn 2, lost 1 of his 14 in charge. 79% win ratio, that is. The best of any manager in this fixture for both clubs in major tournaments.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's also quite incredible when you think not every Celtic fan's behind him now. You know, since he came back, a lot were disappointed with the way that he left the club. And also, 2 defeats in the last 4 in the league. We're not used to that at Celtic Park, and particularly the Hearts one. That really, really hurt a lot of Celtic fans. A lot of booing at the end of that game. So this makes a big difference to how Brendan Rodgers is going to be looked at by the Celtic fans if he can get a win here.
Rangers have won a free kick over on the far side. Yes, questions over performance levels under Brendan Rodgers, even though Celtic sit top of the Scottish Premiership, and as we mentioned, Rangers 5 points behind, but with those 2 games in hand, and with the early opportunity to hurt Celtic here from a set piece. It's on the wide right hand side. It will be whipped in by Tavernier. It's headed away well by Kyogo, who was back there defending for Celtic, and picked up by Rangers on the halfway line. Played forward by Lundstrom, who has returned from injury for this match. Balogun will pick it up for Rangers. Now Tavernier whips it out to the left hand side, and Zimmer will chase, manages to get there as well. He is pressured over on that far side by Alistair Johnston, and Johnston does well, and Celtic win the throw.
Yeah, he's trying to get a free kick for that. Good luck with that one. You're not going to get soft ones like that in an Old Firm game, particularly at the start of the game. So interesting the Celtic have set up also with Maeda on the right hand side. His energy levels are so important to Celtic, because when they have the Japanese players like Kyogo playing at a high tempo, trying to close down high up the park. Maeda does that. They've got Hatate on the bench who does exactly the same thing as well when he gets a chance. Those players will be very important as this afternoon goes on.
Yeah, Abada back on the bench as well for Celtic after a long injury absence, as Galton, who does start and shaken off that injury issue, plays the ball over the top looking for Tavernier, who whips the ball in, but it's fizzed over the bar and will go behind for a goal kick to Celtic, which Joe Hart, all in bright yellow, gets underway quickly, and here comes Celtic driving over the halfway line. Good challenge by Lundstrom, and will be picked up by Tavernier over on that right hand side, who wins the throw. And we have time to take you through the lineups. Hart in goal for Celtic, the back four of Johnston, Stephen Welsh, in for the injured Cameron Carter-Vickers, Scales and Taylor. Ahead of them it's O'Reilly, McGregor and Bernardo, with Maeda, Kyogo and Palmer completing that attack. Rangers still taking their time over the throw. Campbell will play it forward now, cleared away by Celtic and up towards Kyogo. Oh, lovely bit of footwork on the halfway line, but he's dispossessed. There's two balls on the pitch actually, and cleared out of play eventually, so we continue with the legitimate ball, shall we say, as the ball is over the top looking for Kyogo for Celtic into the penalty area. Maeda's up there with him, Kyogo on the angle, and it's beaten away by Butland for a Celtic corner.
Yeah, Kyogo really sharp there. Lots of questions about Kyogo this season. He was unbelievable last season. This season, not quite so sharp. Lots of suggestions why that is the case. However, he started well there, got behind the defence, gets the shot on target, even though it was from a very acute angle.
And he loves this fixture. He's got a great scoring record in Old Firm derbies as Celtic whip the corner in. It's headed up by Rangers' Connor Goldson, but not quite away. Flick back in by Celtic, will be brought down just inside the area, but can't be collected by Celtic. And Campbell has the opportunity to bring the ball away. He does so well, but he's well challenged eventually in the centre of the park. And Celtic have the ball once more.
He's not very popular with the Celtic fans, is he, Cantwell? You won't have to say his name if you don't want to, because every time he gets the ball he'll get roundly booed by the Celtic fans.
Well, it is the season for pantomime villains, and Todd Cantwell certainly one here at Celtic Park, as Maeda is dispossessed by Balogun, and the ball bounces all the way back to Jack Butland. So Rangers with Butland in goal. The back four of Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun and Yilmaz. Ahead of them it's Lundstrom back from injury, Sterling, who's really impressed filling in at central midfield. He's a fullback by trade, but has been playing in the centre of the park of late and doing very well due to the injuries that Rangers have had. Campbell completes that midfield three with McCausland, Dessers and Simmer up top as the ball is played forward by Goldson, straight out of play looking for Tavernier. And Celtic have the throw. It is goalless with 5 minutes played.
Yeah, he's intriguing, Cantwell, because you say about midfield, but he'll spend a lot of time up front beside Dessers. As we look at it just now, he's got a little gap there in behind McGregor there, trying to get the ball in that dangerous area in the pocket. He's a clever player, but also his energy levels are fantastic as well. Rangers
have the ball in the centre circle. Again, there's two balls on the pitch. They haven't noticed that over on the far side as Campbell plays it out to the far side, and Tavernier can come forward past that second ball. McCausland picks it up inside the area. Good save by the feet of Joe Hart. Rangers still have it though. Campbell, edge of the box. Couple of ricochets, won't quite fall to Simmer, and it's hacked away by Alistair Johnston. Out for a Rangers throw, 0-0.
Well, that's the best chance of the game so far. Brilliant move down the right hand side there. The cut back could have gone anywhere. I think Celtic just got a little bit lucky there, managed to clear it away. Cantwell was on for the follow up, but couldn't get a clear strike and goal.
So throw to Rangers deep in Celtic territory. It's goalless with 7 minutes gone here on BBC Radio 5 live at Celtic Park, as Celtic thought they'd won the throw, but nothing doing. It will be a Rangers throw midway through the Celtic half.
I'm very impressed you've not even mentioned the cold yet, Vicky. You're a hardy soul. I'm very impressed. It was snowing so heavily before.
It was a winter wonderland, but it's all cleared now as Yilmaz sends the ball in for Rangers from the left hand side, bounces all the way across the penalty area, comes out to Tavernier, picks it up, he's up against Greg Taylor, the former Rangers youngster, and Celtic steal it. John Lundstrom goes tumbling as Celtic look to break, and here they come over the halfway line, roared forward out to the right hand side, and Maeda, who picks it up towards the Rangers area, but takes a loose touch and runs into Yilmaz, and Yilmaz can clear, and it will be helped on by Cyril Dessers, the Rangers striker, who's come back to help out. Ball back over the top from Celtic is poor, and Butlins can easily gather.
Yeah, it's a little bit of shame for Maeda there. He's got a defender. If you're a wide player, a winger, and you've got the full-back 1-on-1, he really wanted to have a go at Yilmaz there, but his first touch was terrible, and you could hear it growing around this stadium.
Here come Rangers down the right hand side. They've started well. It's Ross McCausland once more down the right, one back by Celtic, played out to the right hand side. Here is Maeda once more, checks on the halfway line, and already you can hear the impatience from the home crowd.
It's a really good open game though, isn't it? You know, it has gone from end to end. Sometimes, you know, in recent years Rangers have come here sometimes and sat in. Hasn't been the case. It's very open.
Here they come down the left-hand side, ball into the penalty area for Celtic. Maeda will trap it, cleared away at the back by Sterling, who was back there defending for Rangers, but picked up once more with Alistair Johnston. Now in field, it's sent out to the left-hand side as once again Celtic advance. Tavernier with defending to do as the ball is played to the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Connor Goldson and Balogun between them. McCausland trying to get there for Rangers, can't do so. Picked up on the far side by Celtic once more and kept alive well. They're midway through the Rangers half, and now we'll pick it up once more with Johnston coming in field, plays it forwards, ball now into the penalty area, fizzles all the way through and turned behind by Tavernier. It's another Celtic corner.
You can see the growing in confidence, getting Palmer into the game now. He's a very, very important player for Celtic, playing the left wing today. But also O'Reilly just begins to stamp his authority in the game, and you talk about Celtic's best players this season, it's been up and down, but O'Reilly has been among them.
Corner swung in deep, it's poor, it's headed away by Yilmaz. Will be picked up once more by Celtic on the far side. Dink back in, punched away by Butland. Important flicked header out of the penalty area by John Lundstrom as well, but Celtic keeping up the pressure. Here is Matt O'Reilly, he's been such a key player for them this season. Plays the ball left-footed into the area, trying to bring it down on the edge of the box. Cleared away by Rangers. Celtic pick it up once more with Paulo Bernardo coming forwards now again just outside the penalty area, but Rangers get the header in with Leon Balogun, and they can counter now with Todd Cantwell. He's midway inside his own half, very well dispossessed by the captain Callum McGregor. Excellent challenge in midfield as Taylor sends it out to the left hand side, and once again Celtic are building. Tavernier with defending to do as it's whipped in, and the header just wide. Maeda was coming in as well at the far post to try and make contact with that. Can't do so. It's behind for a Rangers goal kick, but that was more like it from Celtic. Goal at Luton, Henry Moran.
Chelsea lead, Luton 0, Chelsea 1, and Cole Palmer back in the side after suspension with a fine finish, driving the ball into the bottom right hand corner. Palmer scores, Chelsea lead, Luton 0, Chelsea 1.
Thanks very much, Henry. We'll keep you right up to date here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Here at Celtic Park, it is still goalless. 11.5 minutes played as Rangers pick it up on that right-hand side with Ross McCausland, just 20 years of age. McCausland joined the Rangers Academy in 2019, a boyhood Rangers fan. There are so many for whom this game not only means so much because of the shirt they pull on now, but because of the affiliations they have with these clubs right from childhood. As Goldson goes down, wins a free kick for Rangers midway through the Rangers half. Pat Niven.
Of course, there's I'm trying to see who, is it O'Reilly? I'm trying to see who it is. Well, that's Bernardo, and he said he slipped into that challenge there, and I think he did. It's one of those ones where some referees would, you know, maybe be tempted to bring out the yellow card for that. I don't think you should have, but if you bring out early yellow cards in a game between Celtic and Rangers, the classic phrase of "it's a rod for your own back," you can end up with 8 against 8. Yeah,
setting that tone, as you say, Pat, can be a little bit risky, and our referee Nick Walsh has certainly let the game flow so far. A good game it's been, this Old Firm derby, as John Lundstrom picks it up for Rangers, as Yilmaz on the left hand side and finds him, skips past Maeda, advancing towards the Celtic penalty area, but the ball was just behind Cyril Dessers. Celtic will bring the ball out of danger, played away by Alistair Johnston, came off Yilmaz, and it will be a throw to Celtic just inside their own half as Brendan Rodgers comes out to the edge of his technical area. Philippe Clement, the Rangers manager, has the ball in his hands and will pass it to Alistair Johnston. His first taste of an old firm derby, Philippe Clement, and what a start it's been to his tenure at Rangers. Arrived in mid-October after Michael Beale was sacked. They are 16 games unbeaten under him in all competitions, 17 in all. Nice work by Bernardo down the right-hand side for Celtic. Matt O'Reilly will send it into Taylor, but his ball won't find Palmer out on the left-hand side. And here come Rangers, crunching challenge at the back by Liam Scales that was roared by Celtic Park.
You talk about Clement's start, you know, those figures are fantastic. Add on top of that, they topped their Europa League group. Add on top of that, they've already won the cup. You know, it's a complete dream start. The defences look good. They've given very, very few goals away this entire season. And since he's taken over, I think it is 11 league games and 10 wins and 1 draw, you know, in the league. That is an extraordinary run in any league.
Celtic with the ball just outside their own penalty area. Goalless here on BBC Radio 5 Live here in the East End of Glasgow. Yes, already winning the Scottish League Cup, Rangers earlier this month beating Aberdeen, and as you say, through to the Europa League last 16 by winning their group thanks to a fabulous 3-2 away victory against Real Betis.
But they actually changed the manager after losing to Liverpool, so it shows you the change.
Here goes Sterling for Rangers, stealing it just inside the Celtic half, plays the ball to the edge of the area. Dessers will pick it up, lays it off to Cantwell. Unselfish, Cantwell can't get the purchase or the power behind the shot though. As Kyogo head down will chase that ball over the top, and Goldson had a look, plays it all the way back to Butland. Kyogo closing him down, plays it out to the left hand side. Maeda closing down, Balogun wins the ball, but it spins to Butland, and Rangers got away with one there, Pat Nevin.
They did tried the high press. The problem was there was only one guy doing it. It was Kyogo to start with. Maeda came and helped him, almost got through there. Again, chances all over the place. A few moments ago, Cantwell once again found himself in the D when the Rangers got to the byline. That is a position that he takes up all the time, and he's getting space there.
Here comes Celtic down this right hand side with Johnston. Plays the ball in field, nice layoff by Kyogo as the ball is picked up on the edge of the area. He'll pick it up once again. Good footing by McCausland, who plays it forward to Cyril Dessers. Tavernier will send it out to the right hand side. Good ball by the Rangers skipper. Forward now they go to Todd Cantwell. It's such an open game here at Celtic Park. A couple of step overs from Cantwell, dispossessed on the edge of the area. Nobody there on the right hand side to pick that ball up for Rangers, and it will go behind for a Celtic goal kick. This is a terrific match so far, Pat Nevin. Breathless.
It's a bit like that in these games. It never stops. It keeps on going at 100 miles an hour. And Cantwell once again, I mean, his final delivery there wasn't good, but the amount of times he's picking up that ball in that area, that must be a concern to Brendan Rodgers and these Celtic fans just now, because he's definitely up for this game, and he looks the most dangerous player at the moment for Rangers.
Celtic lose possession just inside their own half. Here is Lundstrom on the halfway line. Will play it to Dujon Sterling, who saw that challenge coming in from Paulo Bernardo. Goes down and wins the free kick, which is taken quickly by Lundstrom out to this left hand side. Good control by Abdallah Sima into the penalty area. He goes, and he was brought down just on the edge of the box. That is going to be a yellow card for Alistair Johnston. It was just outside the penalty area, but there a little glimpse of what Sima can do, tricking his way past the Celtic right back and winning the free kick. Good position this for Rangers.
It's probably the second time he's got the ball 1-on-1 with his full-back there, Johnston, and he's skinned him, absolutely skinned him. He's taking the ball inside, and not only does he get a foul, not only is he in a good position, but also Johnston is booked. And if you're a wide player and you're 17 minutes into a match and the guy who's marking you is booked, it is party time. So Rangers will be trying to get the ball out to Sima as often as they can.
So free kick to Rangers. Chelsea leading 1-0 at Luton in the Premier League's 12:30 kickoff. Rangers with this set piece looking to break the deadlock here at Celtic Park with 17.5 minutes played. Tavernier is there, of course he is, as is Ridvan Yilmaz. Cantwell waits on the edge of the penalty area. They have the height up from the back as well.
He might be tempted to shoot from here. I know it's an extreme angle. If he puts it on a line of the back post, tough for Hart.
Let's see, he does swing it in. instead. It's easily headed away by Kyogo, picked up by Lundstrom, who scoops it back into the area, rather bounced off Balogun, and played forward by Celtic. Important interception as Lundstrom picks it up for Rangers to stop that Celtic counter. And Tavernier has it, sends it to the halfway line, and Yilmaz, well, closed down, and Maeda will pick it up for Celtic. Here is Johnston. Plays it to the halfway line, and Paulo Bernardo back to Johnston once more, just inside his own half. Celtic, who went 16 games unbeaten at the start of the Scottish Premiership season, but suffered those back-to-back defeats against Kilmarnock and Hearts. First time they had lost back-to-back games in the Scottish Premiership since 2013. As they win the ball just inside the Rangers' half. Will be brought forward as they once again look to build down that left-hand side with Louise Palmer, all cleared away by Conor Goldson just on the corner of that 6-yard box. As O'Reilly was coming in, ball goes out of play for Rangers throw, just about. They get on with things quickly, and Todd Campbell will pick it up and send it to Dujon Sterling on the halfway line. Plays it forward looking for the run of Ross McCausland, who's come over to this left-hand side. Johnston is there. Cleared away by Hearts. Not the best clearance from the former England number 1, and John Lundstrom will play it out to the left hand side for Rangers, and Todd Campbell. Simmer though almost gets it back, does get it back on the edge of the area. The shot in the end is wild from the man who's scored 14 goals this season for Rangers, and it's high into the stands.
But it was a lovely move, wasn't it? You know, a couple of 1-2s there, little back heel flick there from McCausland, who'd gone in close to the centre forward position there, so you know, real confidence about that Rangers team when they get into those areas. You know, they've scored a lot of goals this season, and there's a lot, they've spread them around a lot as well. That's a big thing about Rangers as well, but on that occasion the shot not the best.
Celtic have the ball over on the far side, goalless here on BBC Radio 5 Live. 20 minutes played here at Celtic Park as Celtic win the throw over on the far side. Coming up at 3 o'clock we have commentary of Aston Villa against Burnley for you, and then 5:30 Nottingham Forest taking on Manchester United. Do join us for those later this evening and this afternoon on 5 Live as O'Reilly brings it down the right hand side. Maeda into the penalty area for Celtic, pulls the ball across. Oh, what a brilliant delivery. Kyogo can't make contact.
He's definitely
flag
offside.
Is up.
Yeah, Maeda.
And it went behind anyway. Rangers had steered it behind, but Maeda flagged for offside. Wicked delivery.
Yeah, it was a wicked delivery, but Celtic fans will be turning around and looking at each other saying, do you know what, last season Kyogo wasn't a yard short of that. He was standing there to tap that one in, and it's just been like that for Kyogo for large parts of this season. Everything he touched, every run he made, he was on the end of it. This season, just a little half yard away from it, and strikers don't know why this is happening. They're not thinking any differently, they're not moving any less quickly. It's just when you're scoring it feels easy. Yes, it was offside and Maeda had gone too early, but you know, it's Kyogo, that'll be a wee bit on his mind again.
Simmer plays it forward for Rangers towards the edge of the penalty area. Tavernier has raced to try and keep that in but can't do so, and Celtic will have the throw over on the far side with Greg Taylor. Plays it in field to Callum McGregor, back into his own penalty area to Scales, and now Hearts closed down by Dessers. Now here is Stephen Welsh, 23-year-old, coming in for the injured Cameron Carter-Vickers, and helps Celtic advance up the pitch. Johnston plays it to Maeda, trying to get past Yilmaz. And Yilmaz does really well there, just uses his body to shepherd the ball behind as Maeda tried to go around the outside of him. And it's a Rangers goal kick, and we are still goalless in this Old Firm derby here on Friday.
Yeah, very intriguing little battle, just right in front of us here. Yilmaz, there's a little left back there. I think Maeda even might be taller than him, and he's not the tallest player. He's not always first pick for Rangers, Yilmaz, but you know what, on the ball he's looked really good today, and in that battle 1-on-1 so far with Maeda, he's certainly looked the better.
Celtic have stolen possession, the shot whipped in and just wide. Side netting from Paulo Bernardo, and I tell you what, the fans in front of us, Pat Nevin, all jumped up. They thought that was in the ripple of the net. You can see why it deceived them. Fierce shot.
Yeah, you just look at the quality Celtic have got when they go. A little bit of space there. The wear runs off him and it dragged the defenders away. He is caught out with loads of power there. Goalkeeper was straddling. Don't know if he would have got across it, but it hit the side net.
So ball is out of play for a Celtic throw. Let's head to Kenilworth Road. Henry Moran.
Midway through the first half, Luton 0, Chelsea 1, Cole Palmer 7th of the season, the difference between the sides. Ross Barkley against his former club has had a free kick just over. Chelsea though looking the more threatening as they lead 1-0 here against Luton Town.
Thanks very much, Henry.
He's been a special player, Cole Palmer. I mean, probably Chelsea's best player this season.
Here comes Celtic into the area, header away by Connor Goldson. Out to the left-hand side, they work it. As Rangers get the blue shirts back. Once more, Celtic looking to advance down that left. A lot of their attacks have come from there. But Rangers with good shape, good formation, and Lundstrom eventually heads the ball away as it reaches him. But a couple of ricochets, comes back to Lundstrom and then cleared away by Jack Butland. Flicked on by Dessers, but nobody there for Rangers, and it's all the way back with Joe Hart. Pat Niven.
One of the problems that Rangers have got is when they're put under that sort of pressure, everyone gets back apart from Dessers. Then they clear it, but Dessers is on his own. It's imperative that Cantwell goes and helps him. He has done quite a few times, but now and again Dessers have been on his own up there.
Here is Callum McGregor midway through the Rangers half, plays it out to this right hand side, and Maeda back to McGregor once more. Infield as Celtic work down the left once again. Tavernier trying to hold them up as the shot is driven in from the edge of the area. Little ricochet, and it will go over the bar and out for a Celtic corner.
Yeah, getting into good positions. That's one of the things that Celtic always do. Both full-backs, when they're playing well, get as far forward as they can. On this occasion, Taylor gets the ball. It's on his right foot, but has a lash at it. Takes that deflection that you mentioned there, and Celtic get yet another corner.
Lewis Palmer has come over to this near side to take it for Celtic, looking to break the deadlock here in the Old Firm derby on BBC Radio 5 Live. As Palmer will send it in. Oh, it's allowed to bounce all the way through, and it is driven in on the far side. It's a fabulous finish, and Celtic take the lead with a cracker of a strike. Rangers undone by defending inside their own penalty area. They couldn't clear the ball away, and it is a rocket that flies past Jack Butland into the bottom of the net. Pat Nevin, nobody is stopping the ferocity of that strike.
You know, it's not great defending, it has to be said. And the ball's gone through, it's bounced, and you think, well, he's never going to get in the end of this. He's going to have to catch it on the volley. Boy, it's Bernardo. I think it was Bernardo. I'm guessing Bernardo there, because it came out there so quickly. He has nailed that into the corner. What a strike.
It is Paolo Bernardo. It is an outstanding hit. But he got his first goal for Celtic in their last match against Dundee. Scored the opener, the Benfica loanee. But I tell you what, that was an absolute stunner. And to do it against Rangers as well. His name is being roared around Celtic Park.
And the technique is superb, isn't it? I mean, it's skidded in front of him. It's come straight from the corner. 99% of the time, a player will take a touch there. He'll try and tee it up for himself and try to volley it after teeing it up. No, you don't get that time. And he has got it so clean. Keeping it down, just the technique of keeping it down. But putting it into the corner as well, with all that power, that is a classic.
Super goal, super strike from Paolo Bernardo. And Celtic have the breakthrough against Rangers at Celtic Park.
I've just seen it in slow motion there, and it's still going at some pace. He has caught that so well. And a little bit of spin with the outside of his boot as well. It really is a goal. It's fitting for a game of this magnitude.
So how will Rangers respond? Philippe Clement unbeaten in his first 16 games with them. If you go back before his tenure, it's 17 without defeat in all competitions. But they are behind here at Celtic Park here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And here is Callum McGregor for Celtic. The skipper out to the right hand side, and the goal scorer Bernardo. Forward now to Alistair Johnston. Maeda's making the run in the centre, flicked away by Balogun and then by Tavernier before it can reach Palmer. Celtic have another corner.
Well, we asked him before the game how the Rangers players manage under this sort of pressure with these fans. Well, the idea was to quieten the Celtic fans down. Well, A, good luck with that. B, good luck with that if you've lost the goal. And at the moment, they'll be feeling very lonely out there.
It's a sea of green and white at Celtic Park as they swing the corner in. It's poor. It's straight behind for a Rangers goal kick.
I wonder if he was actually trying to score from that corner kick there. I actually think he was. I don't think his centre-backs will be delighted with that. He came all the way up there to try and attack it, but that is one of the things about Celtic. They've had a lot of corners. They've put the balls into dangerous areas generally, and maybe Brendan Rodgers would be a bit disappointed, having scored from the last corner kick, to put that one straight out of play.
So Butland it is who takes the goal kick for Rangers. Over the halfway line it goes, up towards Dessers, their striker, but flicked away by Bernardo. Helped on by Leon Balogun for Rangers, not once but twice, but again Dessers can't bring it down, and the ball is steered back calmly by Stephen Welsh all the way to Joe Hart as Simmer closes him down, but Celtic very calmly and with proficiency play that out of their own penalty area. Pat Nevin.
For about 10 minutes before the goal, they had actually taken control in the midfield. They looked stronger. I mean, slowly but surely you get more of Bernardo in the game, you get more of O'Reilly in the game. You'll always get plenty of McGregor controlling it there, but as it's gone on, Rangers have had to fall further and further back, and Sima has had the ball once and he's looked brilliant. He's only had it once.
And with Johnston on the yellow card as well, they need to get it more to Sima, don't they, Rangers, on that left hand side to give the Celtic
not had enough possession yet to do that, Vicky. That's the problem, yeah, right?
Sterling, can he do that? He looks for the run down the left. This time it's Yilmaz as Simmer has gone central. Yilmaz with the early ball in, looking for Simmer. It's cleared away by Celtic. Won't be picked up by Tavernier. Will be picked up by Cantwell for Rangers, who work it out to the right hand side. The option to swing it in, and now they do, and Simmer have made the run but can't escape the attentions of Alistair Johnston, and it goes behind for a Celtic goal kick. Celtic who lead by 1-0 here on 5 Live. Chelsea still 1-0 up at Luton in the Premier League's 12:30 kick-off. Celtic throw midway through their own half. Pat Nevin.
It's really good defending there. Cross coming in from left-hand side. McCausland puts it into a really dangerous area. But Welsh and Scales together. Now, you wouldn't have thought of them as the first choice centre-back pairing, particularly last season. But at the moment, they've not put a foot wrong, and in that time they worked really well in tandem. Dessers hasn't had a sniff so far against them.
Here comes Celtic over the halfway line, looking for that run of Lewis Palmer, has Tavernier with him. Ball goes out of play for a Celtic throw. Scales did so well, didn't he, in the Old Firm derby at Ibrox. Really took his chance earlier this season, and it's been a real regular for Celtic, really taking his chance with players out injured at the start of the season. And now Stephen Welsh, making his first league start of this season for Celtic, in for the injured Cameron Carter-Vickers, gets the chance to try and emulate him. Celtic win another throw over on the far side. Bernardo, the goal scorer, goes down, but the ball rolls out of play. No free kick given, and it will be a Rangers throw. Celtic 1, Rangers 0, half an hour gone.
Dessers is looking more and more isolated, isn't he? You know, the way that Celtic have controlled that midfield, and the fact that Philippe Clement has been very positive. You know, he's tried to play as a set of 4-2-3-1. That means the Cantwell's trying to get further up, but they just can't get out. They're not getting enough possession. And at the moment, Celtic are only interested in getting a second goal.
Complete miscue by the Rangers captain, James Tavernier there. Goes out for a Celtic throw. That almost got as big a cheer as the goal. Not quite, from Celtic Park. Packed to the rafters, 60,000 in here. All Celtic fans again at an Old Firm match. No away fans for this game, as there weren't at Ibrox earlier in the season. As the ball goes out of play for another Celtic throw, and this you feel is a key time of the game for Rangers. They have to keep it at 1-0.
You know, the Celtic thing is generally as a club, they always keep on going forward. They won't want to sit and hang on.
The ball will break inside the penalty area. Kyogo can't latch onto it. They still have it, Celtic, but just lose out. Bernardo dispossessed. And the ball is cleared up towards Dessers, but again, as Pat Nevin has touched on, he looks an isolated figure and won't get the better of the Celtic back line there. Good defending by Stephen Welsh, and Liam Scales will bring it clear. It's Johnston, poor ball, and Dessers could be in here. Welsh went sliding in to try and avert the damage, but Dessers has it inside the penalty area. Dallied too long, taken off his toes, and Joe Hart will claim for Celtic. What a let-off for them. Welsh is still down.
You know what? I mean, it's a terrible position. It's terrible play. Celtic just passed the ball back. Dessers didn't have anyone coming to him, and you thought, wait, someone's going to have to engage. No one engaged, However, caught from the back, and that is maybe the biggest problem with Dessers. He hasn't got sparkling pace, and eventually when the tackle was made, for a moment I wondered would it be a penalty kick, but because there was no complaint whatsoever from Dessers, you knew that was a good tackle, and Celtic have got away with one there, but it was of their own making.
Well, he did just spread his arms there half-heartedly, Cyril Dessers, but as you say, no real appeal at the time. We do have VAR, so they will be looking at it. Willie Collum, as play is stopped for Stephen Welsh to continue to receive treatment, and Kyogo comes over to get some water. There's Timor as well for Rangers. Let's head back to Kenilworth Road. Luton against Chelsea, Henry Moran.
Just past the half-hour mark, still Luton 0, Chelsea 1. Good opportunity for Luton from a free kick situation a moment ago. Ross Barkley elected to go short. It was then smuggled away by Chelsea, and they've got to find a way of making sure those opportunities, when they come, Luton, are really made the most of. That felt like a waste. Luton 0, Chelsea 1. Cole Palmer's goal the difference.
Thanks very much, Henry. Pat, we're just seeing a replay of that Johnston challenge on Cyril Dessers.
Well, the story is Johnson is the man who gives the ball away in the first place. He's about 20 yards back, but he absolutely sprints back to try and catch up on Dessers. He actually manages to catch up on him. I don't think he actually gets the ball, but then I don't think it's a penalty either, because Dessers basically runs out of legs. He just looks incredibly tired, and there's nothing else he can give, and he just falls at the last moment there. Not too many complaints, and you're not going to get a penalty kick for that.
Well, Stephen Welsh is back up to his feet, but this does look like a concern. He's fallen awkwardly in making the tackle, and he is coming very gingerly over.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to come off. That looks like a possible shoulder dislocation. And it's one of those ones where you don't actually try and run a shoulder dislocation off. You need to go off the field, and Celtic are not having that many bits of good luck with their back line just now. Centre backs are falling lengthwise.
No, absolutely.
Well, we've got Naraki to come in now anyway, so I mean, he's played a few games. It's been a bit, up and down really, but he's going to come on now.
So Mike Nawrocki is going to come on. A rare appearance for him. He's not played since August. Struggled a little bit with injury, but hardly out of favour as well. Arrived this summer from Legia Warsaw. He's a Poland youth international, 22 years of age. But as you say, Pat, having not had Cameron Carter-Vickers available for this game, Stephen Welsh came in for him, and now Welsh has had to go off with that shoulder injury. So Celtic leading by a goal to nil, but a real let-off as Dessers came through the centre for Rangers, and as you say, Pat, just ran out of legs. 9 goals he scored for Rangers this season after arriving in the summer from Cremonese of Serie A. As Celtic come forwards once again, the ball is whipped into the area, headed up by Goldson, but under pressure here Rangers as Maeda picks it up, right hand side of the penalty area. Johnston has joined the attack, but Maeda opts to go back to Callum McGregor, and his ball will find Liam Scales, who advances through the Rangers half and then gives the ball away and is out of position. Now can Dessers and Rangers take advantage this time? Down the right hand side, comes in field to Tavernier, gets a little ricochet on its way through and is cleared away by O'Reilly, and forward now by Bernardo, looking for the run of Maeda, but he won't keep that in, and it bounces out of play for a Rangers throw.
I mean, that seems to be the major problem that Rangers have got at the moment. They get themselves in good positions, but real pace to get away from those Celtic defenders is not there yet.
So Rangers in possession. Celtic lead by a goal to nil here. We'll be heading to Kenilworth Road very shortly as McCausland won't reach that. Headed away by Scales. Let's head to Luton. Henry Moran.
Luton 0, Chelsea 2, and Noni Madueke with a brilliant finish. It was a fine break forward from Chelsea. The ball blasted into the back of the net, and Chelsea double their lead. The man who scored the winner against Palace has got Chelsea second today. Luton 0, Chelsea 2.
Thank you very much, Henry. Here, Rangers could be in behind. It's McCausland as there was hesitancy in the Celtic defence. The shot is blocked and eventually cleared away, but Celtic Park is absolutely furious. Rangers come forward again. Cantwell, the shot saved by Hart, low and driven. But all of a sudden, Celtic's so sloppy in defence.
I like your word hesitancy there. I think that's been pretty kind to them. They were fast asleep. That is a simple ball over the top of the two centre-backs who stopped, didn't move, and the ball went straight through to McCausland, the run on, who should have done better. And Felix Clement maybe getting a little bit involved, and he's going to get a yellow card. Well, welcome to Glasgow.
So,
welcome to the Old Firm.
Yeah, welcome to your first Old Firm derby, Philip Clement. His long unbeaten streak at the start of his Rangers tenure under threat. Celtic who lead by 1-0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And as we've just heard, Chelsea now 2-0 up at Luton in the Premier League's 12:30 kick-off. As Zimmer picks it up for Rangers. He's dispossessed and O'Reilly has it under pressure from Cantwell. Plays it back to Nawrocki, just gets enough on that, back to Joe Hard, and his clearance out as Dessers then commits the foul on Liam Scales. Celtic free kick just outside the penalty area. The ball bobbling on the surface there. The Celtic fans want a yellow card for Dessers, but he's got every right to try and put the pressure on this suddenly shaky Celtic back line.
Yeah, if you think of the problems that Celtic have had, they've all been created by themselves. By the way, I'm just saying a little replay of why Felix Clement's been booked. If you think Arteta gets a bit excited, that's nothing in comparison to what Clement did there. He was fuming, he was dancing about, and I don't think the referee had an option there.
Rangers send the ball all the way back to Jack Butland. They trail Celtic by 1-0. It's Clement, as we say, arriving in mid-October after Michael Beale was dismissed, who has sacked himself by Monaco this summer after finishing 6th in Ligue 1, missing out on Europe. The Simmer comes down the left-hand side for Rangers. Very good challenge there by the substitute Nawrocki at the expense of a Rangers corner, but he had to stop Simmer there, and he did.
Yep, Simmer got into a really good position there. Rangers are complaining about a foul, and well, it wasn't given as a foul. The referee played on and allowed the advantage to be played. I think it was a good advantage that he played there, because Rangers got into a dangerous position. But those last 2 or 3 minutes must have lifted Rangers. Again, it was Celtic being a bit wasteful themselves, giving the ball away easily in very dangerous positions, and that has lifted these Rangers players going forward.
And Nick Walsh does go back and book Matt O'Reilly, so the Celtic midfielder into the book, and Rangers with the corner looking to level things up at Celtic Park with 5 minutes to play until half time. It's Cantwell over this corner. Rangers blue shirts lined up on the edge of the penalty area. Now they advance into the box. It's cleared away by Johnston and helped on by Celtic's goal scorer Paulo Bernardo. Lundstrom will win the header for Rangers in the centre circle. Cantwell will try and keep it alive down the left-hand side. Yilmaz can't keep it in, and the ball goes out of play for a Celtic throw. Pat Nevin. Yeah,
they certainly, if your centre-backs have to change, it always has a huge effect. They need to calm down, they need to understand working with each other. You full-backs, sometimes you think, well, wait now, come back in, I've given a little bit of cover. That's not happening just now with Celtic, because that's not the way they play. So you've had to make a change before the game at centre-back, and then one during the game as well. So that's looking a wee bit shaky.
Rangers finishing this half strongly. Here is McCausland into the area. Low shot, saved by Hart and hack clear before Cantwell can take advantage for Rangers inside the 6-yard box. But they still have it, Rangers, as the ball comes out to the right-hand side. Here is Tavernier. Ball is played in field to Lundstrom. Chipped into the penalty area looking for the run of Zimmer. And in the end, it will bounce out of play. Zimmer saying that should have been a corner. It did look as though it might have been, but decision is goal kick to Celtic, who leads by 1-0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live.
Yeah, Celtic taking control, and then they scored the goal, and then it had another few moments. But really, since then, one bad mistake, and it was Johnson had played a bad pass by, led to half a chance. Since then, Rangers have been up the field the whole time. They've had 2 or 3 chances and half chances since then. And I think they'll go into the break, if it stays at this just now, a little bit more heartened than they would have been 5 or 10 minutes ago. Now the referee's waiting for something at the moment. I wonder if he's checking something, if there's...
Well, we do have VAR. Now checking a possible penalty for handball. So Simmer was appealing. We thought it was for the potential corner, but there could potentially be a penalty to Rangers. No, there couldn't. VAR have had a look, and we play on, and Rangers closing down from that goal kick, and they've managed to win the ball back. Lundstrom's ball forward though won't reach Campbell, but again Celtic making a bit of a hash of clearing this. Campbell then slides in, concedes the foul. It will be a free kick to Celtic, will it? No, the referee's allowing play to continue. Well, to be fair, I'm not sure Cantwell could really have heard the whistle there. Possibly, maybe he did. Maybe he was just trying to retain
I don't think he did. I don't think he did, because the Celtic defender didn't hear it either. I don't think it was Taylor he was up against, and they were scrapping and fighting for the ball there. Everyone else had stopped, and it was one of those ones where you think, oh, I tell you what, we've just seen that possible handball again, and I suspect Johnson just about got his hand out the way at the last second. We're having another view of it here. Oh, I don't know, we've just seen another angle of it. Oh, Johnson.
I think he's very lucky there. That looked potentially like it might have been deliberate, and of course he's already on a yellow card as well.
I've got to say, there is an undercurrent in Scotland just now. A lot of people go on a lot of the time about how many penalties Rangers get and how few are given them against them. So that would have been a big call. Trust me, that will be discussed and dissected at half time.
Celtic play the ball into the area. Good defending by McCausland. He's got back to help out for Rangers. And the ball is headed out of play by Liam Scales for a Rangers throw. Well, that is the big talking point from a Rangers point of view, as well as the chance that Des has missed, which was of his own making. But that's Johnston. If that's spotted and decided it's a penalty, easily could be a second yellow. He could be off, and Rangers could have a
I saw 3 angles of it, and it didn't look like a yellow card. And then there was this very close one from a low behind camera right beside him, and from that angle, had the referee seen that one, I have a suspicion he would have looked upon it very different. Well, it's not the referee, the assistant referee had seen that one, because it seemed to be almost a movement of the hand towards the ball, whereas the other angles, the arm was moving away from it. Didn't see a few more angles of that.
Yeah, that's it, and I think that's what, as Rangers win it on the halfway line, would elicit the yellow card. It's not a goal scoring opportunity at that point, because it's right on the byline as the whistle goes, and Rangers have a free kick just inside the Celtic half. But it is the deliberate nature of it that if they decide it is deliberate, then well, would have been a big decision. It's not gone the way of Rangers. VAR had a look, they were happy with the on-field decision. Of course, we talk about the clear and obvious, it has to be that bar, it's not on balance. Did he do it? Is it clearly and obviously an errre? But big talking point here at Celtic Park, 2 minutes at a time.
Yeah, but it's not clear and obvious from 3 angles. And then that fourth one, I think a lot of Rangers fans will be very upset about that. I mean, I'm desperate to see another angle, another view of that final angle. We'll get a quick look at it, but we shall see.
So, free kick to Rangers. Celtic lead by a goal to 0. We're into 2 minutes at a time at the end of the first half here at Celtic Park as Tavernier sends it in. It's flicked on by Goldson, but he's penalised, and Celtic have a free kick inside their own penalty area.
So we were having a chat beforehand. We don't have big up monitors, so we're looking at it through my little phone. There's a big screen up behind us to the right hand side. They only show certain replays. It didn't show that one.
Rangers with the throw over on the far side, as Goldson will send it all the way back to Jack Butland. It's closed down by Kyogo. Butland will clear away out to the left hand side, bounces off the head of Johnston to Nawrocki, and he plays it forward looking for the goal scorer Paolo Bernardo, tussling with Balogun, and Maeda comes and helps out for Celtic. Balogun did well to get a foot in the end, and Sterling will send it out to this left hand side, and Lundstrom. Here is Cantwell, nice turn away from pressure, and will ease away from Callum McGregor as John Lundstrom picks it up for Rangers. Here is Goldson out to the right hand side, and Tavernier, Celtic leading by a goal to 0. Tavernier gives it away and immediately wins it back, but Celtic have it just inside their own half. Ball forward down the left hand side, but Palmer can't control it, and Tavernier takes charge and sends it all the way back to Jack Butland, who clears over the halfway line looking for Dessers, headed away by Scales, picked up by Sterling as Rangers come forward looking for this equaliser in added time at the end of the first half. Now Sterling's gone down, and the free kick's been given by the assistant over on the far side. This, you would think, Pat Nevin, is the last chance of the half, but it's going to Rangers. They've got a set piece just about level with the edge of the penalty area, about 8 yards up.
Well, the referee didn't give that one there. He was going to let it play on, but the assistant over on the far side, he was flagging furiously, and I was wondering if the referee was tempted just to blow up for half time there to get himself out of trouble, because if Rangers score from this, he didn't actually give that free kick. decent area. You suspect it could be Tavernier, puts it in with his right foot, but I think left footer over there as well.
Yep, Yilmaz is there too.
There's been a bit of tension, hasn't there? In the last 5 or 6 minutes, or maybe even 10 minutes, you can see there's an uncertainty with the Celtic fans here. Rangers have stepped it up.
So free kick to be taken from this wide right-hand side for Rangers. Celtic Park doing its best to put the visitors off as it is swung in. Kyogo heads away, will fall to Rangers inside the area. Canwell with the shot.
It's given offside. I think they're pulling. Yeah, definitely a pull. And
whistle went very, very quickly. The ball did end up in the back of the Celtic net, but it's one of these. This is the strangest thing about not having away fans in the stadium, because it is just pure silence. But in the end, the whistle has gone.
The Celtic players had stopped, and so they must have been able to hear a whistle where we couldn't. There was no way that we were going to hear a whistle there. And you can see that Celtic fans, there was a real excitement. They thought they were controlling the game. Well, they've not felt that in the last few minutes.
But they do lead at the break at half-time here at Celtic Park. Paulo Bernardo's fierce shot gives them the lead and is the difference in the Old Firm derby here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Pat Nevin, it's been a cracker of a contest, but big talking point from the Rangers' perspective, that potential handball by Alistair Johnston that could have been a second yellow and a penalty, that was deemed to be the correct on-field decision, or not worth overturning, we should say, by VAR.
To be honest, the VAR people have got a better view than I've got, because I've got a tiny wee screen here in front of us. First couple of times I watched that, I didn't think so. And then there was this final angle. You just think, oh, actually, did he move his hand towards it? Now, they'll have hopefully had all those angles to make that decision on it, and they've made that decision. And but Rangers, they must be quite pleased with the fact that they've got into good areas, they've attacked really well, they've broken well in the last 10-15 minutes, and they've had chances and half chances, and that penalty claim on top of it. And you can feel it around the stadium. There's a more of uncertainty than there was 10-15 minutes beforehand. Usual Celtic Rangers games, ebbs and flows, 100 miles an hour, great entertainment.
Well, at the moment, Celtic are heading to end Philippe Clement's unbeaten start as Rangers manager, but still a half of football to play here in the East End of Glasgow. At half-time at Celtic Park, it is Celtic 1, Rangers 0.
Whether or not it is a penalty, Pat Nevin, Rangers only have themselves to blame for not having scored in that first half.
Yeah, they had chances. Dessers should have done better when he was 1-on-1 with the keeper, but they got into really decent positions. I think Cantwell's had a really good game until he's got the goal in front of him. He's not caught it from, a couple of times from the right hand side, a couple of times from the D. He's had chances to put it on target with a little bit of power. He's not managed to do that. But you're right, they've got themselves in good positions and just haven't got it. And they've not even tested Joe Hart that often. I mean, considering those opportunities, you shouldn't get that many of them against Celtic at Celtic Park. But they'll walk in there and Clement will say, look, OK, you've made chances, you've been given chances in this first half, do we not throw them away in the second half? But maybe that's the problem Rangers have got, and maybe that's why they've gone into the market and got a new centre forward in Silva.
Celtic have got problems as well, though, in that ordinarily, especially in an Old Firm derby when there's no away fans, one might think, score the opening goal, get control. Instead, they've got the opening goal and it's been chaos.
It has, but this is different this season. It's not. I think you have to look at the two different teams that Celtic from, under Ange Postecoglou and certainly under Brendan Rodgers. They play a different style for a kick-off. They've had one or two injuries. They've lost one or two players, one or two important players. And Jota in particular, in Celtic Rangers games, he had been incredible, and he was always the get out for him, give him the ball, and he caused absolute mayhem. They've not got him. They've also missed Hatate as well. So no, they haven't been as dominant as they have been in the past in the league this season. And against Rangers here, in times gone by, you'd expect them to go and cruise. And I have to say, for 5 minutes, I thought they were going to do that. But it didn't happen. And you're right, at the back, there has been confusion and mayhem. But to be fair, they've lost a whole bunch of centre-backs. They've got new pairings every 10 minutes, it seems. And they haven't looked completely steady yet, particularly since Nazratsky's come on alongside Scales.
It's a half-time, Celtic 1, Rangers 0. Second half commentary to come with Pat and Vicky. It's half-time at Kenilworth Road in the Premier League. Henry Moran.
Half-time, Luton 0, Chelsea 2, and Chelsea really good value for their lead. They've looked far the superior side this afternoon, quietened down a boisterous home crowd as well. Cole Palmer is back from suspension. He got the opener, drilling the ball across Kaminsky and into the corner. He's been Chelsea's outstanding player this season, again showing his worth to this side. The second goal, a really good breakaway move down the left-hand side, cross to the right-hand side. Eventually the ball smashed into the roof of the net by Noni Madueke for his second in 2 games. Luton have offered little. Luton 0, Chelsea 2.
The defending for that first goal, Henry. I mean, we can talk to you blue in the face about Kenilworth Road, difficult place to go, fans on top of the players, all that kind of thing. You can't just side foot the ball to a Chelsea forward in the box.
No, it's not advisable, certainly. And I think the fact that Chelsea have been as clinical as they have been when the opportunities have presented themselves is such a clear demonstration of perhaps the difference between the Championship and the Premier League. And this is rather what we saw at the start of the season with this Luton side, where opportunities were being presented to teams, and actually the home crowd, all of the threat that you get from Luton's forward play, rather being nullified by the mistakes that are being made at the back. And so we saw that again with Chelsea's opener, and that did shift the game around, and Chelsea got energised. You could see that they were moving forward with more confidence, and this was a game Luton would have looked at and thought absolutely ripe for us to get another win, because Chelsea side have lost their last 4 on the road. They've looked a little bit vulnerable. You give them a chance like that, get them moving, well, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, they haven't won an away game in the Premier League since November, Chelsea, but they are 2-0 up at Kenilworth Road at half-time. We're going to make our first trip of the afternoon to Villa Park shortly. That's our base for commentary at 3 o'clock for Aston Villa against Burnley. We'll do that after the news on 5 Live with Carl Hartley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. The government is being criticised by opposition parties for authorising Liz Truss's resignation honours list. There had been calls for the UK's shortest-serving Prime Minister to be denied the right to nominate people, as she only spent 49 days in Downing Street. Labour's Jonathan Ashworth says it's wrong.
She and her Conservative colleagues pushed the economy off a cliff. Families across the country are paying more on their mortgage, more in tax, more on their credit cards as a consequence of decisions taken by Liz Truss. And these are rewards for failure.
Around 1,200 people have received a New Year's honour, including the 3 lionesses, Millie Bright, Lauren Hemp and Mary Earps. A man has appeared in court accused of murdering a 46-year-old man who was hit by a car while giving first aid to a stranger in Sheffield. Chris Marriott had been walking out with his family. Hassan Jangur, who's 23 and from the city, has been remanded in custody and is also facing 5 counts of attempted murder. 2 men have died after a fire at a house in Croydon in South London. Firefighters pulled the pair out of the property along with another person who was taken to hospital. And thousands of people are having their New Year travel plans disrupted because Eurostar has cancelled trains to and from London until the end of the day. It's due to flooding in a tunnel and comes as many people are trying to get away for New Year. Our correspondent Rachel McAdams is at London St Pancras.
12 minutes past 4 is the earliest time that trains might run, and we're up to dozens of trains being cancelled between London and Paris, Amsterdam, Brussels. And of course, it's not just people here in London at St Pancras who are affected by that, but people who are travelling to London as well. And we've heard from some people who are in Paris at the Gare du Nord who are waiting to come to London and have had their trains cancelled as well.
You can follow this story on the BBC News website.
BBC 5 Live.
The voice of sport 2024
on 5 Live
and 5 Sports Extra.
Coming soon.
The Olympic and Paralympic Games. Euro 2024. The ICC T20 World Cups.
Down it comes lunches. This has gone many a mile.
And much more.
Don't miss a moment. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
And it's Celtic 1, Rangers 0 at half-time in the Old Firm derby. Second half commentary on the way. Luton Town 0, Chelsea 2 is a half-time in the Premier League. At 3 o'clock in the Premier League, Manchester City, Sheffield United, Wolves, Everton and Crystal Palace, Brentford, plus our commentary game, which is Aston Villa against Burnley. Liam McDevitt has been speaking to the Villa defender Matty Cash about their season so far.
In the last year, we've progressed really well. Fair play to the manager. Everyone's jumped on board to what he's done. Some of the stuff that he does is amazing, and we're all buying into it. So yeah, it's been a good start. Obviously 19 games in, still got plenty more to to finish off the season, but yeah, we're in a good place.
You mentioned that 19 games. Has there been a point this season where the mentality of the group has had to maybe shift a little bit from being a team who were competing in the top end to now you've got a genuine chance of competing for a title race and also getting into Europe? Has the mindset had to switch at all?
Yeah, I think like the mentality is completely different now. I think since the managers come in, there's completely different mentality. I think we go into every game now, we have to win and we want to win. And everything is about winning. And to be honest, I think the last away game before United was Forest. We lost, but we went on a run even in Europe where we were just winning. And you look back and you've won 5-6 games in a row. And it's like that's the mentality you need to get to the top. Hopefully we can keep going, keep winning, home and away. Obviously be consistent, and hopefully we'll be in good stead.
United, the game that must have been gutting to come from a leading position and finish how it finished.
Yeah, obviously I weren't there. I watched it, but it was obviously I think we started really well. We obviously scored the first two, but 2-0 was a dangerous scoreline, especially away at United. Obviously the fans there are great, so we're obviously disappointed to lose. But we've got another game to bounce back.
From a personal point, there'd been a bit of a goal drought, and then you pop up with 2 against Burnley. You must have been happy with
I'm on a goal drought now. I need to start scoring, but I think it's obviously I want to score and create. I had the chat with the manager about he thinks I can get loads of goals and assists in this season, and obviously I started really well, started scoring, but sometimes you can play well and not score. So I think at this stage it's sort of important for the team to win. Obviously individually I want my numbers to be higher, but if the team are winning and we're sat high up the league, I think it's a contribution as well.
Now, I know your dad's been a big part of your life, always been involved in football and management, right?
Yeah, management.
What do you think you've learned and gained from him over the years?
Yeah, a lot really. I think when he was in his playing career, I wasn't here obviously. But in management career, I've sort of learned a lot really. I used to go to all the games when he was assistant manager at Wimbledon. They obviously they went from the Ryman to League 2, so I was basically there for all the games really. And then he went to Luton as well, and I was there around it all, so I've sort of had that sort of football feel. And I learnt a lot at a young age.
Ryman to League 2, they're proper leagues, those ones.
Obviously Ryman's different to the Prem, isn't it?
Aston Villa defender Matty Cash. Ian Dennis is at Villa Park for us this afternoon. Afternoon, Ian.
Good afternoon, Steve. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Do you think it could be a bit of a wounded animal, Aston Villa, this afternoon after the last couple of games?
Yeah, I think I'd be a little bit... I'd arrive at Villa Park with a little bit of trepidation if I was Burnley on the back of what's happened, because not only did they squander obviously the 2 goals at Old Trafford, and they had chances then to increase the lead to what would have been 3-1 at the time, but also the last time they were here they obviously were held by Sheffield United. So I think Aston Villa will have a point to prove and desperate to get back on the winning trail after it being such it was a club record, wasn't it, with the victories that ended the new club record of 15 successive home league wins before it was ended by Chris Wilder's side. So very much so.
I'm sure absolutely no Aston Villa fans though will be losing sight of the fact that if anybody had told them come the last game that they have in 2023 they'd be third in the Premier League table, they could go second in the Premier League table, they wouldn't be bothered about no wins in 2.
No, I think this year has just been a year of terrific progression for Aston Villa as a football club. The amount of points that they've collected, the amount of wins that they've had, where they are now and where they could be as well under Unai Emery. I think that they're just a club on the up. I think it'll be a terrific noise inside Villa Park. I think at the start of the season, if you'd have asked any Villa fan what was your aims, they'd have said top 4. So if they've been considered as involved in a title race, then that's just a bonus. But if they were to achieve Champions League football, and obviously they're still going well in Europe as well, so there's a lot to look forward to in 2024 for Aston Villa.
Did you expect better from Burnley, or is that harsh for any promoted club?
I didn't think they'd do as badly as they've done. No side in top flight history has lost 9 of their 10 games, so I thought they might have picked up more points at home, I'll be honest with you. I always thought it was going to be tricky for all 3 promoted sides to survive in the top flight this year. But I thought that of the 3, I thought that Burnley might have certainly fared better than what they have at the minute. So they have shown signs of a little bit of shoots of recovery, but I think that the damage has been done early doors, and I think they're going to find it really very hard to survive.
So we've got your game at 3 o'clock, then at 5:30, Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. I know you saw Forest on Boxing Day. It's a very small sample size, but do they look different? Do they look better under Nuno Espirito Santo?
Well, I think what they showed at St James's Park on Boxing Day was a ruthlessness in front of goal. They were very, very clinical. Chris Wood took his goals exceptionally well for his hat-trick, but they were a real threat on the break, and they had a number of chances. You know, it wasn't just the 3 goals that they scored. So they were well organised, but you know, Elanga, Wood, Gibbs White was everywhere. Gibbs White was instrumental in everything that Forest seemed to do so well at St James's Park. They'd made about 5 or 6 changes, I think, from memory. So Nuno Espirito Santo still getting used to his players, but that was a huge 3 points for them on the road, because I think it was also the first time since they've come back into the top flight where they've conceded away from home and come back to win a game. So that's hugely significant too, because Forest away from home have been quite poor, not just this season, last season as well. So to get those 3 points will give them a huge confidence boost ahead of today's game.
Yeah, and we'll find out whether or not they can turn that into some home form, which they will need if they're going to have a successful season. Ian, thank you very much. So Ian Dennis there at Villa Park for full commentary of Aston Villa versus Burnley. That's our base from 3 o'clock. We'll keep you up to date with Palace, Brentford, Wolves, Everton and Manchester City against Sheffield United. A bit of breaking news for you today. Fleetwood Town have announced that their manager Lee Johnson has left the club with immediate effect. This comes after they were beaten 2-0 by Bolton on Friday. Assistant manager Darren Way and first team coach Phil Jevons have also left the club. They are second bottom of League One and 5 points from safety. These are the sounds of Celtic Park, second half of the Old Firm derby for you now on 5 Live. Remember, in the Premier League in the early kick-off, it's Luton 0, Chelsea 2. We'll keep you up to date with that, but our focus is the Scottish Premiership and the Old Firm derby with Pat Nevin and Vicky Sparks.
Thanks very much, Steve. Yes, both sets of players out and ready to get us underway. It will be Celtic to kick us off in this second half. Celtic leading by 1-0 thanks to Paulo Bernardo's fierce strike midway through the first half. His second goal for the club, scoring in back-to-back games. Pat Nevin, you've been off to get a tea at half-time, and you've also been off to have another little look at that penalty shout for Rangers. So is Celtic prepared to get us underway? Reflective thoughts?
Well, we did a straw poll down in the press room there, and I didn't hear anyone say anything other than that should have been a penalty kick. And I think most people have said that Celtic, unfortunately, got away with that one. And considering Johnson, he was the guy who gave the ball away for the Dessers chance. He's been booked already. He almost gave away a penalty kick as well. He's having a charmed life at the moment that so far nothing has come out of it.
Yeah, and could have been a second yellow as well had they deemed that deliberate. So fortunate for Celtic, who leads by this 0 and are going, as it stands, 8 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Rangers would still have 2 games in hand. But as we say, as Celtic get us underway in this second half here at Celtic Park, playing from right to left, these Old Firm derbies are the games that invariably decide the destination of the Scottish League title. Can the Rangers find a way to hit back in this second half? Ball goes out of play for a Celtic throw. They lose possession though, and Lundstrom will clear forward for Rangers. Here is Campbell now, picked it up on the halfway line, but it's well won by Callum McGregor for Celtic and sent out to the left hand side now by O'Reilly. And the free kick given as Palmer went down, so Celtic with the set piece. Celtic, who were forced into a change in the first half. Mike Nawrocki coming on for the injured Stephen Welsh, who himself had started ahead of the injured Cameron Carter-Vickers. We'll run you through their lineup in a moment. No changes at half time for either side as McGregor leaves this for the goal scorer Paulo Bernardo. Fierce strike it was inside the penalty area as Scales plays it forward. Back to McGregor now once more, and out to the right hand side from Nawrocki, making his first appearance since August for Celtic and in the biggest game of all. As Bernardo picks it up, plays it to the edge of the area. Here is Kyogo, edge of the penalty area, will drive the shot in! What a goal from Kyogo Furuhashi! Oh, he just loves scoring in this fixture. He always finds form against Rangers, and he doubles the lead for Celtic in the Old Firm derby.
What a goal! that is an absolute cracker. I have to say, I thought Celtic's first goal was a good one. This one is absolutely out of this world. Kyogo gets it on the inside the D. He's got two defenders in front of him. You think he's going to try and run them. He doesn't bother. He just drops his shoulder and left-footed curls it right into the top. His right-hand corner, goalkeeper's left-hand corner. He's done very, very little today, but he's done the most important thing, Kyogo. What a goal, and what a difference that's made to this game.
Well, his form has been up and down this season. He's playing in this slightly deeper position under Brendan Rodgers. But as we say, he just loves this fixture. His 5th goal in his 4th league start, his last 4th league start against Rangers. And what a peach of a strike it was. And it has Celtic Park rocking. 60,000 here, all in green and white, all supporting the hosts. And Pat Nevin, it is a long way back for Philippe Clement's Rangers now.
It's a hugely difficult one. Obviously they'll be thinking penalty they feel they should have got near the end of the half. They've just started the second half, and instead of being level, they're 2 goals down, and it's a huge way to come back from there. And they would have been buoyed at the end of that first half because they created chances, half chances. Celtic were looking a little bit rocky at the back, but now, wow, there's a long way back. And for the Celtic fans, they deeply love Kyogo. I mean, there's a very, very, very special bond, and that will just make them love them even more.
Yeah, a real connection between the Japan international and the fans here as Rangers have it on the halfway line. We got the winner at Ibrox in September. He got a brace the last time these sides met here at Celtic Park back in April in a 3-2 victory. And he has scored to put Celtic 2-0 up here against Rangers here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. That is the same scoreline, incidentally, that Chelsea still lead Luton by at Kenilworth Road. That's the Premier League's 12:30 kick-off as the ball is all the way back with Joe Hart. And out to the left-hand side he comes, and Liam Scales plays it over the halfway line, looking for Lewis Palmer. Cleared away by Tavernier, not once but twice, but only as far as the Celtic captain Callum McGregor. Palmer steps in and plays it out to the right-hand side now, and Nawrocki. Maeda will pick it up as Johnston in support. Johnston, who could have given away a penalty at the end of the first half for a handball. VAR had a look. They were happy with the on-field decision of no penalty. And Rangers now trail by 2 goals to 0. Celtic on a free kick just outside the penalty area, not given. Campbell picks it up. He is dispossessed by Paulo Bernardo, and Maeda will pick it up over on this right-hand side for Celtic, who are in the ascendancy here in the Old Firm derby at Celtic Park, and heading, as it stands, 8 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership as they look for their 12th league title in the last 13 years. It would be their 3rd in a row. The ball is cleared away by Tavernier. Now to play for a Celtic throw. And Pat, is this at the moment about Rangers trying just to weather this storm?
Well, at the moment I'm looking down at the bench thinking you've got to do something, you've got to change something. They've got 4 or 5 players warming up over there, but if one thing on top of anything else, you've got 2 centre-backs there that looked a little bit shaky with Celtic for part of this game. They're not slow, but they're not blessed with huge pace, but Dessers is not getting behind them in any way. Have you got anything on the bench that can ask them a question if you go along, and then you can push the team up? And maybe it's too early in Clement's career to fully understand the capability of his team, because at the moment he's got to look not on the pitch possibly, but actually to his bench.
Here comes Celtic up towards the halfway line. Maeda hits it in field. It's collected well by Celtic, and now out to the left-hand side they come with Liam Scales. Over the halfway line goes the centre half. The runs are being made ahead of them. One of them is Taylor, another's Palmer. Here is Lewis Palmer. Plays the ball looking for Maeda, who does really well to bring that out of the sky. The clouds still dark and grey above Celtic Park here in the east end of Glasgow on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as the ball is played forward. Taylor coming in field again from that left back position, the former Rangers academy player. Out to the right hand side, Celtic go now with Johnston advancing towards the penalty area. A little bit too easy that. Here is Kyogo trying to feed Maeda, can't reach him, and Rangers clear over the halfway line, but it will come straight back at them. This is a really good start to the second half from Celtic as Goldson under pressure Heads the ball up for Rangers and then calmly does well, plays it out to Tavernier as Rangers play their way out of trouble, but Sterling almost gives it away, helped on by Lundstrom, and now a little bit of space for Cantwell down this right hand side. Celtic leading by 2 goals to 0. Dessers sees the ball intercepted by Nawrocki just ahead of him, and the ball is out of play for a Rangers throw. So let's race through the teams, because I think race is the only way we're going to be able to do it. Hart in goal for Celtic. Johnston, Nawrocki, Scales and Taylor ahead of him. O'Reilly, McGregor and Bernardo make up the midfield. Maeda, Kyogo and Palmer complete that lineup for Celtic, as they do have a player down, and our referee Nick Walsh has stopped play.
I think it's Dujon in the middle there. Sterling, he's left his arms up. It's whether it's deliberate or not, and he's caught him. There's no doubt he's caught him as he's gone past there. Trying to see who is it? Is it O'Reilly?
Down,
yes,
yeah.
O'Reilly was down there, so he's definitely got one in the face, but no one seems to be moaning or complaining about it, so you guess that's probably just a coming together. You can never tell fully, but no one, as I say, is complaining to the referee.
So O'Reilly receiving a bit of treatment, which means at a slightly slower pace can take you through the Rangers lineup. No changes for them so far. Butland's in goal, back four of Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun and Yilmaz. Lundstrom, Sterling and Campbell ahead of them, with McCausland, Zimmer and Dessers up top. Dessers, who had that huge one-on-one chance before the penalty appeal that Rangers had right at the end of the first half, but Dessers dallying inside the box, not getting the shot away quickly enough, and Celtic getting away with one.
You wonder if it's dallying or he just didn't have any more pace left. He'd run, about 40-50 yards, but he was caught from such a distance from Johnson. I mean, Johnson's a long way back, and again that does ask the question, if you're a centre forward, you need to be sharp in that box.
So O'Reilly still receiving treatment, so let's head for an update from Kenilworth Road. Henry Moran.
Almost 10 minutes into the second half, it remains Luton 0, Chelsea 2, but Luton have looked lively since the break, and they've made a couple of important changes as well. Benny coming on, as has Tathith Chong. It's added a real energy to this Luton side, who win yet another corner over to my left. It remains, though, 9 minutes into the second half. Chelsea 2. Leading, I should say, Luton 0, Chelsea 2 is what I'm trying to say. We'll get there.
Thanks very much, Henry. We'll keep you right up to date with events from Kenilworth Road. Later on, the 3 o'clock commentary on 5 Live this afternoon is Aston Villa against Burnley with Ian Dennis and Dean Smith. And from 5:30 you can listen to John Murray and Paul Robinson, who will be bringing you commentary of Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. Pat Nevin.
We just, we've got a bit of a stoppage in play here. We've had another showing of the penalty incident, and I don't think there's anyone arguing it. The assistants, the VAR officials, eyebrows will be raised. Is that the polite way of putting it? But that wasn't given for Rangers.
And Riley's still receiving treatment. He's taken a whack to the face. This is why he's down for so long. He's got a cloth to his nose, and they have a new shirt ready to go as well, so it may be, we can't see from here, he's got his back to us, but it may be that there is some blood on the front of that shirt. So, but of course a player that Celtic certainly are going to want to come off. He's been outstanding for them this season, being linked with a move in January, those performances attracting attention from the 23-year-old, but he's been so key at the heart of that midfield for Celtic.
Yeah, he certainly has, and we've seen a replay of it, and it was a trailing arm by Dujon Sterling, but it was definitely not deliberate. It was, he's actually he'd gone beyond O'Reilly there and just caught him on the side of the face, possibly the nose. But there's no acting there, no complaining. They're just going to get on with it eventually. He's going to have to go off, isn't he? There seems to be still a lot of blood there.
He's still receiving treatment. They're still holding that cloth to his nose as he walks off, and is applauded now by the Celtic fans who rise in front of us. But they will be desperate to patch him back up and get him back onto the park, because leading by 2 goals to 0 with 10 minutes gone in this second half, still plenty of football to play. They need a man in that sort of form on the pitch. Celtic temporarily down to 10 as O'Reilly comes to this near touchline. They have the new shirt ready to go. Celtic, of course, playing in the traditional green and white hoops, the white shorts and the white socks. Rangers in their home kit as well, the blue shirts, the white shorts and the dark socks.
And you forgot to mention that Celtic are wearing those numbers nobody can see in their backs.
Yeah, do you know what? what was stressful in the first half is Celtic when they throw over on the far side. I've made a lot of notes on my bit of paper because when you can't see the numbers, obviously you're recognising players but looking for boot colours and all of that, and it blew away. The team sheet flew away with 10 minutes to go. It's appeared under a fan's chair. I've got it back now. And O'Reilly looks as though they're trying to get him back on. Of course, they will have checked for concussion as well, but it looked more of a facial injury than a head injury.
They've just pulled his shirt over his nose and he's just bent down in pain again. Oh, that's not fun.
Could have been a little bit more careful, but there we go. Celtic 2, Rangers 0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as Palmer will keep that in. Only as far as Tavernier, though, he plays it forward. Rangers temporarily playing against 10 as Simmer goes down. Sterling, I should say, goes down and wins the free kick, which Rangers get moving quickly. They know that there's a potential opportunity to take advantage of this player deficit that Celtic currently have, with O'Reilly still receiving treatment, having to change his shorts as well. Matt O'Reilly, he's a nasty one. It's clearly been painful, that blow to the face, but he will try and continue, and you'd expect nothing less of him and of the importance of this game. Celtic leading by 2-0, currently going 8 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Rangers will still have those 2 games in hand. The ball is dinked into the penalty area looking for Dessers, headed away by Celtic, will be picked up by Lundstrom for Rangers. Applause for Matt O'Reilly as he re-enters the field of play. And Rangers have it just inside the centre circle. Here is Goldson out to the right hand side, and Tavernier closed down by Palmer. Nice ball from Tavernier to find McCausland, who 20 years old, has dealt with the energy around this fixture very well, as Yilmaz goes in a brilliant run. McCausland trying to find him with the 1-2, can't do so, but McCausland does keep hold of the ball, sends it out to the left hand side, and Lundstrom, as Rangers look to build down that left. Lundstrom has it once more, dinks the ball into the penalty area. Tavernier, free header, nods it back across, cleared away on the edge of the 6-yard box. Sterling trying to keep it alive, shouts for handball, not given. Campbell has it for Rangers, but can only play it straight into the scorer of Celtic's first goal, Bernardo, who is then brought down, and the free kick is given to Celtic.
Yeah, Sterling goes in there, and to be honest, he's got a yellow card for that. It's a wee bit harsh. Referee waited a moment, thought about it, eventually gave it. But just a moment ago there, Tavernier got up to the right hand side and the ball was crossed to the back post, and it was there for a header. Now it's a right full back going there, but he's not been able to do that often enough, and it's been one of the things about Tavernier over the years, in the games against Celtic, when he's such an important player with his overlapping on that right hand side. He's never been able to do it quite as much. Celtic have usually had a player up against him that's pinned him back a little bit, and today has been no different.
It's such a key part of Rangers' game plan, isn't it? If Tavernier is getting forward, it's going to plan, and if Tavernier isn't, then it's not.
By the way, we're going to see something unusual in a moment. Nobody's going to be watching the game in 10 seconds.
Okie dokie. Pat Nevin, man of mystery. The ball is played forward. Oh, there we go. As the Celtic fans start the Poznan. And let's see, should we try and jump in time so we can see over the heads of the fans that are jumping in front of us? As the ball is out to the right hand side. Celtic coming forward, leading by 2-0. And picking up that ball with Johnston, plays it to the edge of the area, intercepted by Lundstrom and picked up now by Todd Cantwell as Rangers come forward. Lundstrom bursting over the halfway line as well to keep possession, and slides it to the edge of the penalty area, and Dessers has it inside the box, side netting. Good move though by Rangers.
It was a good move, but you look the way he was pushed out wide. He's got an angle that the defender doesn't panic. I think we're trying to say there's Rocket. He's over there, doesn't panic, doesn't dive in, pushes him a little bit wide and says, like, have a go from there. You've got to beat me and you've got to beat Joe Hart. I don't think you can do it. And he was absolutely right. That is actually very good defending.
Celtic have the throw over on the far side. Just a bit of housekeeping for you. Bernardo, incidentally, did pick up a yellow card in the first half after scoring that goal. Encroaching towards those jubilant fans on the far side. So O'Reilly, Bernardo and Johnston in the book for Celtic, Sterling in the book for Rangers. So far as Scales plays the ball back to Joe Hart, and Dessers will close down. It's just that question mark over Cyril Dessers, isn't it? As we say, scored 9 goals since arriving in the summer, the Nigeria international, but yet to fully convince, shall we say, in a Rangers shirt. And there is just that question mark, isn't there, when he gets into the penalty area. You're not confident that necessarily he's going to be clinical.
Yeah, he's one of those centre forwards you almost need somebody else beside him to work off of, but he's spending a lot of time when he's on at the moment.
Palmer plays the ball to the edge of the area for Celtic. Bernardo is dispossessed. They're trying to get the shot away with McGregor, cleared away by Rangers. Scales wins the header out to this left-hand side. Celtic leading by 2-0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and they've won the throw midway through the Rangers half. Pat Niven.
And worryingly for Rangers, 15 minutes, 60 minutes into the second half, they're not really laid a glove on Celtic. And Celtic have got that second goal. Obviously they're confident, they're comfortable at the moment. Rangers need to get something quick, and once again just to expect chances now to change. The substitutions. There's Matondo on the bench, there's others on the bench. At the moment, no movement from Clement.
Well, he is looking at his bench now, Philippe Clement.
Finally he's going to make one now. He's making the gesture. He's finally going to make a sub. I think
that's 16-game unbeaten run at the start of his Rangers tenure. It's under serious threat as Connor Goldson goes down. Free kick to Rangers. Bernardo was in there with the challenge.
The way Goldson's gone down there doesn't look good. Remember, he's come back from injury. He was a doubt before the game, but some players go down sometimes. The way they go down and the way he's obviously got a very, very sore one there. It almost looks as if he just followed through with a clearance. He's hobbling a bit, but he's got up.
Yes, very gingerly back up to his feet, Connor Goldson. As Philippe Clement once again looks over his shoulder at his bench. They are still missing some big players. Rangers Danilo, of course, with the knee injury. Kemar Roof still out. Ryan Jack, Nicholas Raskin, Tom Lawrence as well. But they do have, in terms of options, you're looking at maybe Rabi Matondo, Kieran Dowell, Scott Wright potentially.
Yeah, Dowell scored recently, and you see Matondo's got lively, he's got pace, there's no doubt about that. But
here goes Dessers though, taken off his toes just inside the penalty area, but the play is called back for a free kick for a foul on Simmer, who has gone down holding his face. So Rangers have a set piece, really good position this, about 23 yards out, just in from that left hand side of the penalty area. And Celtic, I wonder whether they would say, well, enough of an advantage went there. Dessers did get it inside the penalty area, but in terms of the time between the foul on Simmer and Dessers losing the ball, it was quite a short period of time.
It's another facial as well, and it's I've just watched that free kick with Goldson before there. Certainly Goldson can't really complain. He's the one who was slightly over the ball but managed to injure himself. But even since that's happened, Simmer's gone down over there. A few complaints. Goldson's going over to the referee and says, well, wait a minute, if it's a foul and it's hand to face, should that not be more than that? He's not brandishing a yellow card, so he's not putting himself in danger there, but it's in a dangerous area when you finally get this free kick to be taken, and of course it's in Tavernier range.
It is indeed. Meanwhile, as Simmer continues to receive treatment for Rangers, let's head back to Kenilworth Road. Henry Moran.
Just past the hour mark, still Luton 0, Chelsea 2, and those roars of frustration you can hear in the background, because Chelsea players, I think it's fair to say, gamesmanship and just making sure that they extend time as much as possible. A few players going down, and Conor Gallagher, the captain's been spoken to by Paul Tierney, the referee, about just ensuring play keeps moving as things have been going a little slowly in the last few minutes. Luton 0, Chelsea 2.
Thanks very much, Henry Moran. Simmer still down receiving treatment, and Pat Nevin, it's that man again for Celtic, Alistair Johnston. He was involved.
He is living a charmed life at the moment. Referee's listening out for it. If it's a straight red, they won't change it to a yellow. Of course, he's had his yellow card already. And everyone's making the point that his arms up high. He's definitely caught Simmer. Whether it was vicious or deliberate, I don't think it was deliberate, but you can understand why the Rangers players are asking that question. I mean, it's typically, if you're a team that's the home team and there's no supporters, the pressure's on the referee to go one way. But I think Philippe Clement will have one or two things to say after the game about a couple of decisions.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Because like you say, VAR wouldn't interfere for a second yellow, but you could clearly say, well, that's reckless, and reckless is a yellow. So and again,
it's closely to it looks
careless or reckless. I guess that careless foul, reckless yellow, which way do you kind of go with that? But it's one of those you can see being let go, but I think it's the totting up. In the cold light of day, Rangers will look at that afterwards and say, well, you've got the potential deliberate handball at one end that he could have got a second yellow and we could have got a penalty, and then you've got this. Well, it just is the free kick.
You just wonder if Celtic, it would maybe be a good idea to replace Johnson at the moment. It's not that he's having a stinker of a game, it's just that everything's happening around him in a negative defensive sense. You know, it could have been a penalty, he's been booked, gave it away once or twice as well, but there he could have been booked, he'd been sent off, and that would have been a real lifeline for Rangers.
So Simmer temporarily off the pitch. Kieran Dowell, who Pat's just mentioned, is ready to come on, but they will take this set piece first. Tavernier, one of the players over it. Yilmaz is there as well. And Tavernier has scored some beautiful goals in his time at Rangers. He's netted them against Celtic.
It's almost a perfect possession as well. He is about 24 yards out.
He's not happy with where the wall is though. He's shouting at the referee, but he's going to be told to get on with it. So Yilmaz is there too, but James Tavernier, the Rangers captain, goes for goal. It's straight into the wall. Yilmaz will get the follow-up. Tavernier takes a tumble as Lundstrom sends it back in. Tavernier up, heads it on towards Dessers. Offside flag is up. And Celtic have a free kick inside their own penalty area. Well, he was complaining he wasn't happy with the positioning of the wall, James Tavernier, and in the end he sent the ball straight into it.
Yeah, and you knew that when they complain it's too close, you're never going to get it up and down. No chance whatsoever. In the end he didn't try to do that, he just lashed at it. And by the way, one of the biggest cheers you will hear today is because the bogeyman is gone.
Yeah, pantomime villain Todd Campbell is off for Rangers, and he's waved on his way by 60,000 at Celtic Park, and Kieran Dowell is on. So Celtic in possession, leading by 2-0. And playing the ball to the edge of their penalty area, again a little loose in midfield, but Paolo Bernardo's ball is retrieved and over to the right side they will go as they look to add to this 2-goal advantage. And here goes Johnston. He's been involved in so much, can't keep that cross in, and it goes out of play for a Rangers goal kick. So let's hear for team news. Aston Villa against Burnley. Ian Dennis.
Well, Aston Villa make 2 changes from the side that lost at Manchester United. Moreno comes in for the injured Digne at left back, and Diaby is in for Dendoncker. As for Burnley, they make 1 change. Goodmanson starts instead of Trezor.
Thanks very much, Deno. Full commentary coming up with Ian and Dean Smith at 3 o'clock of Aston Villa against Burnley. Meanwhile, Rangers have made a change. Another one. Scott Wright is on.
I think it was Sima went off. Yep.
Sima, yes. Sima, who's not recovered from that injury, is off. So that is a blow for Rangers, because you know he hasn't been hugely involved in this game. Abdallah Sima. They only have him for one more match before he goes off to the Africa Cup of Nations as well. But he is a player that when he does get on the ball always looks as though he might be able to make something happen. We're heading to Luton shortly, but Celtic have just stolen possession just inside their own half. Played over the halfway line, headed away by Tavernier. Sterling will pick it up for Rangers on the halfway line. Down the right hand side it goes, out of play. Rangers throw to Kenilworth Road. Henry Moran.
That should do it for Chelsea. Luton 0, Chelsea 3. A second of the afternoon for Cole Palmer, taking it round goalkeeper Kaminski and having the presence of mind just to delay the finish in time. He was mobbed by those Chelsea supporters behind the goal, and why not? He's been superb today. Luton 0, Chelsea 3.
And that Turnbull's coming on. No surprise that he's coming on for Bernardo, is it? He's put some shift on Bernardo in this game so far.
Yeah, scored the cracking opener midway through the first half, Paolo Bernardo. The Celtics steal it, and Maeda could be in it. Oh, is he brought down there? This could be a red card, and it is! Rangers down to 10. Liam Balogun sent off for bringing down Dyson Maeda. And it might just get a little bit fractious here. The referee, Nick Walsh, in quickly to separate the players, but credit to both teams, it doesn't boil over there. But Rangers now are really up against it. Maeda seizing on the opportunity to break through the middle and brought down by Balogun. Last man, straight red. Rangers down to 10. And Celtic know now this game very, very much is theirs to lose as they take the free kick, try the shot just from the edge of the D, and it sails over the bar, and that really deflates Celtic Park, but it won't for long, because really, Pat Nevin, the momentum was already theirs, and they have taken a hugely strong grip on this.
Yeah, they have, and what Celtic supporters, they will think 2-0's not enough now. They want more than that now, because a chance to have a psychological blow on the opposition, but it was really poor play there. Balogun is only himself to blame, tries to be a little bit too clever, closed down both by Kyogo and Maeda, and couldn't get back, not quick enough.
Well, Philippe Clement is out there, the Rangers manager, trying to reorganise his side. They're going to make a change, but now they really are up against it as the whistle goes, and Greg Taylor wins a free kick for Celtic. Important that whistle went for Celtic, because Dessus was in there.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get away though, was he? He's not been able to run away from anyone today.
We'll be heading to Manchester City shortly, but Celtic really in the ascendancy now, but we can now head there because Maeda won't keep that in. Throw to Rangers, who trail by 2-0. So the team news at Manchester City, Maz Baruki.
2 changes for Manchester City from the comeback win at Everton. Stones injured in that game, of course. Matheus Nunes drops to the bench. Kovacic and Guardiola come in. Kevin De Bruyne is named as a substitute. 5 Sheffield United changes. Thomas Norwood, Bogle, Ben Slimani and Osula replace Hamer, McBurney, Archer, Emma Hodgson and McAtee.
Celtic looking to get in behind, but Rangers have managed to win and will clear up towards halfway to Wolves. Team news, Pat Murphy.
A couple of changes for both sides. Mario Lemina for Wolves. Sadly, his father passed away yesterday. Doyle comes in. Dawson's recovered from a gash knee, replaces Bueno. For Everton, Calvert-Lewin and Keane both start. Everton likely to play 3 centre-halves. They come in for Beto and Gomez.
Thank you very much, Pat. We will keep you right up to date with all the action across the Premier League and elsewhere this afternoon. Celtic with the ball just outside the centre circle, leading Rangers, 10-man Rangers, by 2-0 as Palmer tricks his way down the left-hand side. Ball into the penalty area is driven by Turnbull straight at Jack Butland to Crystal Palace. Team news, Alistair Bruce Ball.
Crystal Palace against Brentford, 2 teams in urgent need of a win. Roy Hodgson names the same 11 that started against Chelsea on Wednesday night and lost to a late penalty. Hodgson-Edouard is on the bench. 2 changes for Brentford from their 4-1 defeat at home to Wolves. The Matthiases, Jorgensen and Jensen, come in for Jarmo Mope.
Here comes Celtic once more down the right-hand side. Johnston's delivery in, cleared away by Rangers, who are about to bring on John Souttar. They could really do with getting him on and reshuffling this defence, because it's all Celtic at the moment. They pick it up just outside the area. The shot is driven, deflected, spins to Lewis Palmer on this left-hand side. Celtic leading 10-man Rangers by 2-0. Palmer then going down, clutching his face, gets up pretty quickly as Tavernier brings the ball away. Here is Dessus. He's eased off it inside the centre circle. Very good challenge by Nawrocki. And the ball is picked up by Ridvan Yilmaz. Back to Kenilworth Road, Henry Moran.
Well, Luton think they've got a goal back here. It's been checked for offside, though. Alfie Doughty coming back from an offside-looking position to then cross the ball for Adebayo to head home. We'll wait and see. VAR says offside, no goal. It remains Luton 0, Chelsea 3.
Here comes out again to the penalty area, but the shot in the end from Lewis Palmer is tamed, scooped up into the arms of Jack Butland. Now Palmer goes down under the challenge of Goldson just inside the penalty area. Nothing doing from our referee Nick Walsh.
It could get fiery.
To get on.
It could get very fiery, Vicky.
I think it hurt.
Do you know, looking at Rangers, they've been trying to get a centre-back on Souttar for about 3 or 4 minutes now. The ball's not going out of play, and they're under huge pressure at the moment. They cannot get a hold of the ball.
Johnson's ball into the area. Kyogo is in there. The touch just took it away from him. Can't control it, and Butland has it. It's one of these where, you know, he's not going to throw it straight out of play, Butland, but they really need to get Souttar on.
Yeah, we could do that. The other side to look at is, if you're Souttar, you're thinking, thanks, Gaffer. 2-0 down, under pressure, 10 men. You're going to walk into this cauldron.
So the ball is forward now from Kieran Dowell. We'll play it back once more. Rangers trailing by 2-0 and down to 10 after Balogun was sent off for bringing down Maeda when through on goal midway through the second half. Rangers coming forward though. Here is Tavernier, pulls the ball back, but right is dispossessed. Dowell gets the foot in, but nobody's there on the left hand side. The ball though will spill out of play, And that will give Rangers the time to make this substitution and bring on John Souttar to try and shore things up at centre-half. And it's John Lundstrom, just back from injury, who is the player to make way. And he is waved off by Celtic Park.
Yeah, that's the polite way of saying it was waved off. I mean, the Celtic fans are understandably celebrating everything. There's 14 minutes to go, but also a little bit of time added on to the end of that. There's been a couple of injuries, there's been a whole bunch of substitutions. They've all been coming on singly, so the referee might be tempted to add 7 or 8 on at the end of this, which is I don't think the Rangers will enjoy that.
30 minutes of normal time remaining as Maeda comes down the right hand side. Really poor delivery, straight out of play, sails over Butland's bar.
He's not his best day, Maeda, and he's a very, very decent player, but at the moment, everything strides, kind of not really quite coming off, and he's playing against a player, I have to say, if Rangers, who gets pass marks to Rangers, Yilmaz, the left full back, is one of them. He's played well today.
Tavernier clears up towards halfway. Dessus will chase, headed away by Scales, helped on by Taylor. Chester down in the centre of the park, and Rangers will bring it forward. Almost works out nicely, and Scott Wright trying to get there. It's well defended in the end by Nawrocki, and he wins the free kick as well. Wright not happy with that. There's a real tussle there.
Yeah, well, good pace there finally to going to ask the centre-backs of Celtic a question, but both of them are actually both centre-backs of Celtic now. To be fair, they have grown into this game as it's gone on and gone on. They've a little bit more understanding. They've never given Dessus a sniff anyway, but they've actually covered each other really well as the game's developed, and you never know, that might be a partnership that will work for Celtic.
And here comes Celtic once more. Ball in fields to Taylor. Now out to the right hand side, and Alistair Johnson had made the run in the centre, well intercepted by Yilmaz and cleared up towards halfway, but Rangers with the 10 men are struggling to make any headway, and Celtic wave after wave of pressure from them as they come forward once more. Ball into the penalty area, Tavernier reads it, heads it back to Jack Butland. It was a good header, calm under pressure, and nobody there in a green and white shirt to put the pressure on Butland and try and get this third goal for Celtic.
Brendan Rodgers, by the way, I think he's going to make 2 or 3 substitutions just now, and I kind of hope Lula Bada will be one of them. It's a difficult time for the young man, obviously, and he's going to come on, and but I think he'll possibly ring O or maybe Angle at the same time.
Here is Lewis Palmer, Celtic pushing for this third goal, dinks it to the edge of the area. Very good challenge by Dujon Sterling. And he'll bring the ball up towards halfway for Rangers, then goes down on the halfway line. He's done well there, wins a free kick, and that will be a yellow card into the bargain as well.
But we'd say it's a good one to lose. They were breaking quite quickly, the Rangers, but they weren't breaking with enough players. You have to see the number of players in that midfield there, Rangers. They've kept on going at it, but in this second half, since the second goal, and it was a beaut, since then, Rangers really haven't been able to do anything. They haven't asked too many questions at all.
Ball over the top won't reach Dessus. It is brought down by Wright, and now Dessus picks it up for Rangers. Left hand side of the penalty area. Abada and O are preparing to come on for Celtic as the ball is played forwards by Kieran Dowell, but intercepted and played up to Kyogo, who scored that fabulous goal at the start of the second half. That, combined with a red card, looks to have put this Old Firm derby beyond Rangers, and looks to have sent Celtic 8 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Rangers, though, will still have those 2 games in hand. Celtic just inside the Rangers half. Let's head to Kenilworth Road. Henry Moran.
Luton do now have a goal back, and it's Ross Barkley against his old club. Corner in from the right hand side, near post header flicked in beyond Petrovic. Luton have a lifeline. Luton 1, Chelsea 3.
Thank you, Henry. Full commentary of Aston Villa against Burnley coming up from 3 o'clock here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and we'll be round the grounds as well, of course, with Ian Dennis, as Mikey Johnston is also going to come on for Celtic. A triple change being prepared by Brendan Rodgers, who is keeping up his excellent record in Old Firm derbies.
Interesting, he's not thought of bringing on Hatate, and Hatate's a player, very, very important player for the club, so instead of giving him game time, he's thinking give him that little bit more rest, make sure that injury he's had is fully cleared up.
Yeah, been out long term here, Hatate, back on the bench for this match, but as Pat says, not entering the field of play as the ball is inside the penalty area. Good save by Butland, and the appeals for offsides were eventually heard. The flag was up on the far side anyway, and here comes this triple change for Celtic. So the first player to make way, and there'll be big cheers for this man, Kyogo. Well, whatever his form is doing over the course of a season, he always seems to find it in Old Firm derbies. Tavernier Maeda going off as well. But the goal from Kyogo has been one of the standout moments of this match. Absolutely stunning. And we have to say, Paulo Bernardo's wasn't bad either. The final player to make way, Luis Palma. So the players coming on, Abada, O and Johnston.
Yeah, big moment for Johnston. His Celtic career hasn't been brilliant, but scored a double recently, and his confidence has grown massively from that. Two very similar goals. I think it was against Dundee, cutting in from the left hand side. And listen to that reaction for Abada. Listen to that.
Well, he hasn't played since the victory at Ibrox on the 3rd of September, injured himself on international duty with Israel, and welcomed back vociferously by Celtic Park. All over the top, looking once more for the run of Desses. And Celtic win possession and look to play up towards the halfway line, leading by 2-0 against 10-man Rangers, but Rangers have stolen possession with Sterling. Little tug on the shirt there, maybe goes down right on the edge of the penalty area. Ball spins through to Joe Hart. Play is stopped because Sterling is up to his feet, but Celtic have a player down. Made some good runs in this second half, Dijon Sterling.
Yeah, he's been a muscular display. Yeah, it's the kind of player he is. To be honest, he's gone into that tackle there, and it was one of those very, very meaty tackles. I don't actually think he did anything wrong, but my first look at it, his shirt was being tugged massively as he went into it, and he was catapulted into that challenge with Greg Taylor. But he's gone up and he's okay.
Yep, Taylor back up to his feet. 6 minutes plus added time to play here at Celtic Park. Celtic leading by 2-0. Rangers down to 10 midway through the second half. Leon Balogun sent off for bringing down Tavernier Maeda. Went through on goal as Philippe Clement watches on as Desses steals it, and Rangers could get a goal back here. Here is Cyril Desses into the penalty area. Shot is blocked, and again he's just not convincing, is he, at the moment, Pat?
He didn't believe in it, and he's going up and he's got one centre back between him and the goal, and you think, well, you're not going to run by him. Because he knows that, so he just says, okay, I'll stand up, I'll put you wide, and it's an angle he's not going to do anything serious from.
Here comes Celtic, nice play to the right hand side of the penalty area. Johnston's delivery curves away from everybody in the green and white hoops, and actually turns into a very good inadvertent ball for Ross McCausland. Down the right hand side for Rangers. Might decide to go it alone. Was he brought down there? Yes, he was. That's cynical from the Celtic captain Callum McGregor, and he goes into the book.
It's a bit of I don't know if there was any real need to do that. Celtic had 3 players round them there. Yeah, McCausland was going at some pace, but you've got 3 players and a long way to the goal, but McGregor thought, no, he's a danger, taking him out. And you're right, it was quite cynical, and he accepted the yellow card with some level of grace, it has to be said.
So Tavernier with this free kick for Rangers, who trail by 2-0 heading into the final 4.5 minutes plus added time. Down to 10 as well as Tavernier loops it in. Poor delivery, could have been left there by Nawrocki, but he wasn't to know that. Does win the header, and Celtic retain possession over on the far side, midway through their own half. As Philippe Clement watches on his 16-match unbeaten run to his start as Rangers manager is coming to an end, unless we're to see a remarkable comeback from the away side as Mikey Johnston is dispossessed. James Tavernier getting the foot in, and then McCausland putting on the pressure as well. Throw goes the way of Rangers. Back to Kenilworth Road, Henry Moran.
Where a second goal has gone in for Luton Town. It's a brilliant recovery this from Luton. They have put such pressure on that Chelsea goal. Luton 2, Chelsea 3. The ball turned in by top scorer Adebayo. 4 minutes left of the 90. Luton 2, Chelsea 3.
Thanks very much, Henry. Well. drama at Kenilworth Road.
And Luton had a goal chopped off as well for offside, so
yeah,
exciting.
Former Chelsea winger Pat Nevin with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live as Dessers chests the ball down into the penalty area. Right shot is blocked. Rangers pushing to get a goal back late on as Kieran Dowell picks it up and plays the ball in field to Dujon Sterling. Rangers down to 10, looking to at least get on the score sheet here at Celtic Park in front of this 60,000 strong home crowd. Now free kick right on the edge of the area as Dessers goes down. There'll be a yellow card as well. Now it looked as though he definitely tumbles inside the box there, Dessers.
I think he knows what he's doing there. He makes sure that the contact's about a yard outside. The referee's spot on with it, getting the dangerous area. But I have to say, Dessers, really good the way that he drew the player out. And I'm trying to see if it was Scales or was Ricky.
Might have been Navrosky over on that far side.
Again, it's a position where Tavernier, it's quite wide though, but you know, it's getting late. There's only 2.5 minutes of normal time left. He must be tempted to have another shot from here.
So Tavernier over this for Rangers. He does go for goal. Oh, it's brilliant. He's done it again. James Tavernier, as he so often does for Rangers. He loves scoring those sort of goals against Celtic. It's another cracking free kick from the Rangers skipper. And do Rangers have hope here at Celtic Park? What a comeback this would be if they can pull it off. Down to 10, 2 minutes plus added time to play. And for the first time this afternoon, Celtic Park momentarily silenced. They might be on their feet once more though as Johnston, good run, goes down. No free kick given just outside the Rangers penalty area, and Rangers will clear away. Pat Nevin, what a strike from Tavernier.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we have watched 3 brilliant goals this afternoon, 3 absolutely brilliant goals. All great strikes, all from either outside the box or from about 16 yards. But that one, top corner, against a high quality goalkeeper. Now everyone is looking with interest at the board down there. How many minutes is it going to be?
Ball played into the Rangers penalty area. Sterling will just about get it away, but Tavernier has given Rangers hope. McCausland tries to close down for the visitors, but Celtic have it and will bring it away. Centrally goes Greg Taylor, coming in from that left back position once again, plays the ball into the area. On the stretch it won't be trapped and spins out of play for a Rangers throw, and all of a sudden just a few nerves creeping around Celtic Park in this 60,000 strong crowd.
You're absolutely spot on, and you know, just beforehand, until about 7 or 8 minutes to go, you know, it was a cruise. Celtic were walking to the end of this game and not really trying, and they slightly turned off a little bit, made the 3 changes, and suddenly from there Rangers have got a little bit more interested. And how many minutes is it going to be? Realistically, it probably should be 8 or 9.
Rangers play the ball out to the right hand side. We have 5 seconds of normal time to play. All eyes on the 4th official with that board. Rangers coming forward. Here is Tavernier down the right hand side. Dess is in the centre. Oh, Scott Wright almost latched onto it. Celtic making a hash of clearing it.
And it was 8 minutes, as I guessed.
8 minutes of added time. Spot on, Pat Nevin. Can Rangers find what would be a most remarkable goal, or can Celtic put it beyond them? Edge of the area, the shot driven in by Abada is claimed by Jack Butland.
Obviously exhaustion from the Rangers players here. They have to play about 3 different positions each. They're chasing after it. The game's got very long. There's a bit of space out there. Rangers have gone in a strange formation, but they've got 2 up front. They have to try everything. They would love to get a corner kick. You wouldn't be surprised if Butland came up for that.
Here they come, Rangers. Celtic 2, Rangers 1, here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We are into 8 minutes of added time, and Rangers, remember, down to 10 as Rangers win a throw. And you can hear the fury around Celtic Park. They look to be coasting to victory. Their opponents with a player down. Celtic certainly having the better of this second half, but all of a sudden that Tavernier free kick, just as he did here last season when he scored his 100th Rangers goal with a brace. has really meant there's so much at stake in these final stages, and Tavernier whips the ball across. It's out of play for a corner, and Greg Taylor absolutely roaring at his teammates. Celtic all of a sudden under real pressure from Rangers here.
Butland asking his manager saying not yet, not quite yet.
Still 6 minutes of added time to play, but Rangers have a corner. This would be a smash and grab and then some in terms of the way this second half has played out. Tavernier with the corner, swings it in high, flicked away out of the penalty area by Celtic. McCausland will get there and prevent the Celtic counter, and Yilmaz will send it all the way back to Jack Butland as Philippe Clement urges his players on. Long ball over the top. Celtic appealing for offside against Ross McCausland. It's not given. McCausland then goes down, and referee Nick Walsh, I think rather game intelligently there, just allows that to play out and go behind.
To be fair, it's one of those ones where it looked offside, but when the goalkeeper kicked it, it was a good 2 or 3 seconds. I don't think he would have been offside there.
Celtic playing the ball around their own penalty area, and that's making Celtic Park nervous. This 60,000 strong crowd, remember, no away fans in here, as there haven't been for the last few Old Firm derbies. It's all green and white, and they are urging their side to hold on to possession, to hold on to this lead, but they can't hold on to possession. Dujon Sterling has picked it up. We have 5 minutes of added time to play. Can Rangers find a late equaliser? The ball is forward with Kieran down inside the penalty area, drives over the angle of post and bar, wasted.
Well, that's very disappointing for Rangers fans listening there. Doyle got into good position there, but he's lashed it with no direction. Rangers have to go man for man at the back. They've got 3 against 2 at the back there. They need to go man for man. There's no other way now.
They have the ball on the halfway line. Here is their captain, Callum McGregor, sends it out to the left-hand side, and now Mikey Johnston with the opportunity to run at the Rangers penalty area. He's done well. Might go for goal, plays it in field and said, oh, is that a penalty? Referee says no. Huge appeals from Celtic Park. The offside flag is up over on the far side, but I'm not sure, did the referee see that flag before he said absolutely no to that penalty appeal for Celtic?
No, I don't think he did. I think you asked the right question there. Turnbull's got the ball in there, and what he's done, he's just put on the brakes and wait for the Rangers player to run into him. Perfectly legitimate thing to do. Dark arts, acceptable, yes. However, the referee's got himself out of a hole there. Looking at his assistant referee, who's got his flag up, and Rangers are still in it.
4 minutes of added time to play. 10-man Rangers have pulled a goal back late on. They trail Celtic by 2-1 here at Celtic Park, and Celtic have conceded another free kick just inside their own half.
Mikey Johnson's walked over and tied his shoelace an inch from the ball. In England, you get a yellow card for that.
Also, that is the quickest tying of a shoelace I've ever seen. He did it in about 0.5 seconds flat.
I think we know what was happening there.
James Tavernier with the ball for Rangers to the edge of the area, and it was flicked on by a Rangers head and will be flicked straight out of play by John Souter, and Celtic have a player down inside their own penalty area, and this is where all of those dark arts come out, Pat Nevin, because they are having to work so hard to see this out. A match in which they were coasting 2-0 up in the second half, in control, Rangers down to 10 after Balogun's dismissal for bringing down Maeda, and then all of a sudden James Tavernier does what he does so often, pops up with a super free kick.
I mean that is top class, that free kick. I mean, the angle he's at, he's almost at the corner of the box, you know, so it's a long way out, it's 19 yards out and the rest because it is at an angle there, and he has nailed it into the top near side corner there, and it just lifted every Rangers player. But they are tired and they're going to have to push forward. There should be another 3 or so minutes to go, but with a player down just now, that could be quite some time. We've just no idea then how much it's going to be, but you suspect there's going to be one more major attack by Rangers.
Yeah, Matt O'Reilly down again, receiving treatment. Officially, just over 2 minutes of added time to play, but as we say, there'll be a little bit more. And Philippe Clement turns back to his bench, his dark coat zipped all the way up. Brendan Rodgers does the same, hands in his pockets. This is huge. Right now, this is bigger for Rodgers than it is for Clement, because, you know, Rangers, given that they had a player sent off, given that they haven't really been in it in terms of this second half, yes, they'll look at refereeing decisions, key moments at the end of the first half, and that goal for Kyogo at the start of the second really changed the complexion of the game. But if Celtic were not to win this from here,
I mean,
Celtic Park isn't going to be happy.
A draw would be, I mean, before, if you see who it would be better for before the game, it would have been better for Rangers before the game. So if they got it just now under these circumstances, I think it would, Mr. Clement would be dancing again.
90 seconds of added time to play, but there will be a little bit more for that stoppage for Matt O'Reilly to receive treatment.
I think it was his nose again for the second time. His nose will be the size of mine by the end of this.
Celtic win a free kick just inside the Rangers half, and that's all they need. They just need territory, they just need possession. Rangers just need to win the ball back as quickly as possible. 1 minute of added time to play, officially, as we say, probably a little bit more. With that stoppage in added time, as the ball is played forward by Celtic, headed away by Yilmaz. Appeal for handball, not given. Sterling will pick it up for Rangers. Under pressure midway through his own half and out to the left hand side. Yilmaz will send it over the halfway line, and Cyril Dessers will chase this. And the ball is
gone out, definitely
out of play. It's one of those, it's over on the far side, and Nawrocki just very calmly stops and says, yeah, that's gone out. Dessers doesn't listen, picks up the ball into the penalty area, but the whistle has gone, and Celtic have a throw over on the far side. Full time at Luton. A thriller, Henry Moran.
Brilliant game of football. Luton 2, Chelsea 3. Chelsea were 3-0 up, but late goals almost saved Luton. They couldn't find the equaliser. 2-3.
Thanks, Henry. Something kicking off over on the far side of the pitch. The referee, Nick Walsh, very, very quickly over there. And this is all kicking off at the end of this Old Firm derby. Nick Walsh, the referee, just moving away. Celtic have a player down over on the far side. Jack Butland, the Rangers goalkeeper, has come over.
The referee's going to have a word with somebody.
Take this free kick, but could there be further punishment here, Pat Nevin?
I'm trying to see who has it. Is it Goldson again? No, it's not. Sutter has been called over and he'll get a yellow card. That was off the ball. He's just trying to rush the game along there a little bit. You can shove players off the ball. Sutter's getting annoyed there, so is Goldson. He's got to forget about that. They've got very little time. They need to go on with the game. The Rangers. Very high line Rangers are playing here. Looks a little bit dangerous.
Yes, I think Goldson might have gone into the book there as well, as the free kick is played out. Suter does win the header just outside the Celtic penalty area, and Celtic will try and counter. Dower wins the header for Rangers, not once but twice, and sends it forward once again. Bit of head tennis going on as Johnston 1-1 for Celtic. Ball cleared out of play. We have played the minimum 8 minutes added on. The referee looks at his watch. We knew there'd be a little bit more. There's been a couple of stoppages in added time, but Celtic are nearly there against the 10 men of Rangers, and Mikey Johnston has it, being pursued by Ross McCausland. Picked up on the halfway line now by Celtic as they try and come forward. Very good challenge by Yilmaz. Sterling will help it on, and Goldson sends it forward. It's now or never for Rangers if they're to find this last gasp dramatic equaliser against the odds. Celtic clear the ball away inside their own penalty area, and Celtic Park roars to hear the whistle. Still it doesn't come. Lofted forward by Suter. Out to the left-hand side of the penalty area. They're appealing for offside, but it's gone out anyway for a Celtic throw, and that is almost that, Pat Nevin.
Every single person in here looks at the referee. He's looked at his watch about 4 times already, but he still hasn't blown quite yet.
So Celtic with this throw, deep in their own territory. They have the ball where they want it. They have Rangers where they want them. They lead by 2-1. Rangers down to 10. They've given themselves late hope, Rangers, with that Tavernier free kick. The throw goes the way of Celtic once more again. We've played over 10 minutes of added time. Initially they were 8. But there have been a couple of stoppages in this added time period. But Celtic know they are almost there. Ball up over the halfway line. They're appealing for a free kick. It's not going to be given. Dujon Sterling has it. Cleared long downfield by Yilmaz, and Dessers will chase for Rangers. Cleared away by Celtic, out for a Rangers throw, and the referee indicates for it. We are still playing 11 minutes of added time, and still it goes on at Celtic Park. Rangers play the ball to the edge of the area. It's headed away by Celtic. The referee has the whistle in his hand. It's headed away up towards the halfway line, and that roar will tell you from 60,000 Celtic fans that the final whistle has gone. In the end, Celtic, who were in control for so much of this second half, had to hold on, but they have beaten 10-man Rangers by 2-1, and they go 8 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. Yes, Rangers still have those 2 games in hand, but Pat Nevin, this is a huge win for Celtic and for Brendan Rodgers.
Well, they really needed it. Celtic, they were under massive pressure before the start of this game. Had Rangers won this game, the games that they had in hand, they would have been very, very concerned. However, over the feast, Celtic have probably been the better side. A number of things went in their favour, but those goals that they scored, two absolutely brilliant quality goals, it meant they should have been cruising, as we said, but they never quite got there. They were never able to take it easy. And then when that goal came at the end, you just thought, you never know what an awful thing it would have been for Celtic and Brendan Rodgers had they only walked away from here with 1 point. But if you look at the end of this game, it says 2-1. We've seen 3 brilliant goals. We've seen a really good game. We've seen brilliant excitement. But every Rangers fans will be on shouting and bawling, saying, what is going on? There was a penalty kick that they thought they should have got as well. So, as usual, the Celtic Rangers games, they'll be debating this long into the day, long into the night, and for the next week or so as well. But it didn't let down. It doesn't disappoint. It was another cracker.
It's had everything, this Old Firm derby. As Pat says, cracking goals, a red card, a hugely controversial non-penalty decision. But in the end, the 3 points go the way of Celtic. It finishes at Celtic Park. Celtic 2, Rangers 1.